Are you guys aware that we almost see no titties in movies anymore? And we only see titties. Hey, anybody notice this? Yes, I love titties. Big old titties.
What's up, you big old bitches? Welcome to the CAMELCAST 25 with my boy, the true blue fallback man, Nick Rekieta. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, brother? I am doing fucking great, man. Today has been phenomenal.
That's good to hear, man. It's like the opposite for me, but I'm glad that you're doing good.
Yeah, well, I'll do good for both of us, man. It was 80 degrees, bright ass sunshine, clear fucking blue skies. Not a care in the damn world today. Drex is over here he was here since Saturday, and he left around 5 p.m. today. But so like it was just good, man. Good company, good weather. And I fucking hate winter so much. I hate it. And I get like some seasonal depression shit. And I woke up today and I was like, let's conquer the fucking earth. I'm like doing laundry voluntarily, making breakfast. It was weird, man.
That's when you know your day's going well, is when you do laundry.
Yeah. I was like, wow, we got to get this laundry moving. I might as well start doing it. And I'm like, who am I?
I just invite like one of my hookups over, and I'm like, hey, my laundry is like piled up. And they always are so gung-ho. They're like, oh, you don't do all of it. And I'm like, well, damn, girl. Now I phrase it as, oh, you don't have to do that, baby. What's up?
Right. Yeah.
Like, no, I want to. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll be in the garage.
Yeah. Well, if I tried to get one of my hookups of the many hookups that are constantly over at my house, do laundry, they got to do 7 damn people's laundry. Like, it's a lot of fucking laundry, man.
That's just too damn much. Speaking of too damn much, jerk off Juggernaut says, cheers, fellas. I won't be here long, but I'll catch you in the future to start my morning. Here's the starting off the snake milk grift you got going on. Cheers to the good show. Hell to the Iron Age. Hell to the fellowship. We will win. Oh my God. Made me hard. Thank you so much, jerk off. I appreciate you. Your big, delicious, fat red boy. Already a 10th of the way to 5 milk in one hit. Thank you. And look, here it is. You called it, Nick. You called it so fast. Nick's shoulders glow brighter than an FBI. He was like, I'm ready for the jokes today.
I'm fucking immune to them. They do not and cannot bother me. I am, it does not. Because you know what, guys, if you did not happen to see it, you got to check out the last 2 shows I did. We had Drex over. Like I said, he was here since Saturday. So Monday, it was me, Drexel, and Joker from Better Bachelor. And there was some really interesting, first of all, it was good conversation the whole way through, but there's a really interesting thing that Joker said that I think is really indicative of what's been going on the internet in the sphere that Drex and Joker hang out. And Joker said the last thing he wants to talk about is Manosphere shit. It is the last thing he wants to do. The whole like red pill community, all of that is shit that people like. There are the grifters in there. There are people who had their opinions who kind of get wrapped in. I think Joker and Drex kind of fit in there. They get wrapped into this sort of red pill manosphere stuff because they talk about it. But if you notice, their perspectives on things are a little bit different than some of these other guys. But the grift is getting so ridiculous out there that they're like getting tired of even talking about it because people are adopting the language of the fucking grifters, and it's fucking up all the discussion that happens.
Dude, I said this the other day on one of my shows with somebody. I was like, I've noticed ever since, Fresh and Fit started popping up, and keep in mind, I enjoyed watching like those clip segments, right? Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden, there's like 600 of those shows now where it's like, women have no value. After the age of 26, men have value and they create their value. And I'm like, all right, dude, I get the shit. But it's starting to get to the point where I feel like some of these creators, I guess you loosely call it that, just watched Fresh and Fit, and then they just started like saying the same shit. And I mean identically the same shit.
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of the stuff they say. Like I disagree with a lot as well. For example, I understand why, somebody would want a low body count. I get it. I don't give a fuck though. So I argue the other way. Say another thing that they always say across the board. If you're with a woman, she can't have any social media. And I'm like, that is insane. No,
it's unrealistic.
Fuck that. What are you talking about? But they can't it's like they can't go away from the manosphere, and they have to all agree with the exact same points. And it's starting to get where they don't really have personality of their shows anymore. And it's always the same shit. It's like 9 hooker looking girls, and they're all super dumb. And it's like, what do you think you are? And it's like, I'm a 10, baby. And he's like, you're not a 10. And she's like, oh, damn. And that's the whole show now.
I got invited onto that show.
Which one? The whatever or the
the whatever podcast.
Oh, what the fuck? Why did I get invited?
I will put in a good word for you when I get down there,
dude,
brother.
Please. I would love to go on there and tell one of them hookers they're not a 10.
Yeah.
I think you were 6.
I want to go down there and be like, no, queen, you are a 10.
Be the ultra simp.
That'll be fun. It's going to be fucking blast. I just got I got to find time to get down to, cause they're in Santa Barbara and they do all their, they do their guests live. So I got to find a good time to get down there, and which is fine because I always want an opportunity to go visit Dick Masterson in LA anyway.
Yeah.
And that's a couple hours away. So I figured me and Lady Rackets can jaunt down, take a day trip to the Santa Barbara for the whatever podcast, hang out with Dick for a little bit, and then head back home. So I'm looking forward to it. But
dude,
so that was the first. That was the first one, and that was important just because of that. That comment was so damn poignant to me. I get it, and it gets really fucking tired. I felt the same way during specific times around LawTube and the legal channels when it was just during the Amber Heard trial and the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and the aftermath of that, when there's suddenly this big infusion of people into the community, and I mean viewers into the community who want all law all the time, and it's but that gets really boring and horrible. And I know you're really excited because of this media that you found, but for me, I can't do it all the time because I want to jump off a bridge. I want to talk about fun stuff too. But then the next show we did, yesterday's show, was Big Herc from Fresh Out. This is a dude who went to prison 3 different times, rebuilt his life entirely. He was a porn star for a while. Very interesting dude, but he had enough shoulders to carry me through several shows of shoulder shaming. His shoulders were unreal. It was like 2 fucking bowling balls attached to his goddamn arms. It was wild. I was
wild. Yeah, dude, speaking of that, I remember this very clearly. Every time anybody would mention LawTube, you would be like, I am not part of LawTube. I don't know what you got. I'm not in this shit. Y'all leave me out of this. You kept saying that because I agree with you. When I first came on your show 100 years ago, we didn't talk about that shit at all. And then I would watch your show, and I watch your show every other day, and I watch it for those reasons. I like when you watch TLC. Or My Strange Addictions. I love that. That's what I love. You know?
That shit's hilarious.
We gotta be honest. I'm a dumbass. So I can't when you start talking super law. I mean, I'm into it, especially the Amber Heard thing. I love that shit while it was happening. But to expect that same kind of content always, that's just too hard, man. It'll make you want to dive as a creator. Karis, by the way, with a $20 Orange Boy super chat, the first one of the night. I love you, dude. I appreciate you. Hello, my word says CAMELCAST stream. Hell yeah, dude. Josh Boss says, sorry, won't be able to make the race Saturday. A little too far. Bitch, it's 8 hours from my house. Looking forward to Caraway in the June. Thank you, Josh Boss. I appreciate you. Caraway, dude, I was at, no, that's Carteret I'm thinking of. Samantha says, here's to being alone for 2 weeks. Glad to have you all. Thank you, Samantha. I love you. We'll be here for you as per usual. And Fair and Balance says,
what up, Farron?
I always wondered why the right's doing the Manosphere grift. Women now make up 51% of the vote. Not saying bow to women, but geez, calling them useless after 27 won't get any votes. I don't know if it's necessarily conservatives. I feel like they're going to obviously probably be more conservative, but they never really talk about politics. Not that I watch. If I've watched clips, I never see them really talk about politics. I think they
trend. I don't know if they are conservative, but they definitely trend right.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Because if you trend left, you want to watch your girlfriend get smashed in front of you. So obviously,
we were talking about that last night because both Drex and Herc spent their time in the lifestyle, And the stories are just fucking riotous.
Oh,
man.
dude. And look, I have been there. I've had 2 or 3 women, and I'm not into it, man, but I've had 2 or 3 women after I hooked up with them tell me, hey, like, you should come over and like have sex with me in front of my boyfriend and or husband. So that's happened 2 or 3 times for me. But it's weird. There's something weird about the fact that when I talked to Drex about it on our podcast, when me and Drex did our show, it's apparently so common. Like when you're a black dude.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, I don't know. I mean, I'm melanated, but I don't get that much, that much of those requests, probably because, I put off a good, strong Christian vibe. I mean, that's the only thing I can possibly figure is, no, Drex, so that people, I think people misunderstand mine and Drex's like discussion and how our lives diverged at one point, because I have known Drex for like 25 going on 30 years. And that is true. But there are big gaps in the times that we hung out with each other. Our early years of college, we were not at the same schools. We barely saw each other at all.
Yeah.
Between, let's see, my first and like third year of college. Then Drex comes out to my school. We hang out all the time. Then after college, we hang out for a bit, but I go to work. And then Drex goes, and that's when I think he got into his lifestyle stuff. And I didn't talk to the man for like outside of an occasional text or something for like 5 years.
Do you think he was getting paid to be the bull?
No, he said no. He never took any money for it.
Dude, I would have.
Yeah, me too.
That'd be $100.
But so then like we started talking again, and then I moved away from the Twin Cities, which is, we lived in the Twin Cities for 5 years after we got married. We moved out to the country, and I didn't really see Drex at all for years of that. And then he starts like we kind of reconnect, and he's like, hey man, we laughed about the blackface picture and stuff. And that's when he decided to come on the show and talk about it. But then he starts talking about this lifestyle shit that he's been into. And I had no fucking idea. Like, I knew he had done a little bit of degenerate stuff, but nothing of this sort. So I'm just sitting there like absorbing these stories, laughing and marveling at how fucking insane they are. And then people like, I think, got the assumption that I had any idea about any of this, or like knew about it, and then some people got this weird idea that I was like also involved in some way, like in that lifestyle or that community. And no, to me, it was all just this foreign fucking language. And now it's just funny. But it's like, it's been such a weird ride catching up on these gaps in knowing someone. And I'm glad to have like friends that I can not talk to for a long time and still be friends with them afterwards. But it is always a weird manic craze to catch up with what they've been doing.
Dude, all my friends got married, moved away, and then they got divorced, and they got married again, and then they got divorced, and now they're just living like 8 states away, and they don't talk to anybody because I guess they're sad, which I would probably be sad too. But dude, that's wild. Speaking of the thing where they thought you were involved, there is something about if you bring someone on your show, or you know them, or you say they're in a picture with you, every female that I've brought onto the show, I've gotten comments on the videos or DMs asking like if I'm banging them. And I'm like, they live in LA, man. What are you talking about? Am I just banging that? No, she lives in LA.
His dick is not 10,000 miles long, guys.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure if I like flop that bitch out and put it on a bus, he'd get like cut up or something at some point. Somebody step on it or chop it off or something. I ain't risking that shit.
No, it's why this is like internet. I'm gonna eventually like coin this expression, but it's like internet associative disorder.
Yeah,
where if you see something online that happens, then you associate someone with that thing, and then your brain fills in the gaps. I've been trying to decipher this shit for months now, because it's like, because I know Drex, I must be involved in this thing. It's like, okay, well that's not true. Or if I talk to, you start talking to lawyers and people, certain kinds of lawyers, and they're like, you must know all about this subject. I'm like, no, that's why I brought on the guy who knows all about that subject. Yeah. That's why I brought on that person. And it goes on and on and on, man. And like, it gets to the point where, fuck, we did the Vegas show, right?
Yep.
And people are like, Nick's doing a show in Vegas. It must be to bang a bunch of people. It's like, I mean, I don't think so. It seems like a really expensive way to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that became this like weird rumor. It's like, well, you go to Vegas to fuck people, I guess, which I mean, I don't know. I brought my wife with me, so
so
I mean, I guess
it's kind of true.
But it's like, that's what I was after. Some hotel room time alone with the lady is great. But people were, it was like, oh, well, that's it. It's in Vegas. It's like, oh my God, no. If I was going to be banging people, I wouldn't spend as much fucking money as it costs to set up a show and go to Vegas. I'd just buy a plane ticket or whatever.
I would just tell them to fly to my house.
Yeah,
that's the easiest possible. And speaking of that, a good, you said associative. So
right.
I had somebody tell me, I've actually had a handful of people. They're like, Cody, why do you only bring on people that are ultra conservative? And I'm like, for one, I've had probably 2 people that qualifies that, maybe out of everybody, 2 or 3. And 2, no, if they, for some odd reason, like occupy the left of the spectrum, they won't come on my show.
Yeah.
Right? Because they'll see, CAMELCAST with Nick Rekieta. Oh, CAMELCAST with Nerdrotic. And they're like, nope, not going on that. He's an evil conservative. I'm like, I'm not even a conservative. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like more in the center, but everybody thinks I'm a conservative now because I've brought on some people that are Christian, people that are conservative. And dude, I'm the furthest thing from like religious for like, and
I'm hopefully dispelling the notion that I'm conservative. I have said from day one that I am a libertarian, and I am pretty liberal on a bunch of social issues, so long as they don't involve fucking kids, man. Leave kids alone. I don't care what people do with their life. So I'm pretty libertarian, or I guess you could say liberal on things like drugs, alcohol. I think weed should be legal. I think prostitution should be legal.
I agree.
I eventually think, I think it starts with weed, but I eventually think they can make harder drugs legal. But I think we got to move culture and get people out of this like cycle of addiction that they're in, because shit like fentanyl will kill you. But there are recreational drugs that are not anywhere near as dangerous. And if they were, regulated and approved and pure and stuff like that, I think we'd actually have a better overall society out of that. But we're not ready for that. That's like a 10 to 30 year plan. But like, you would probably call me liberal on a bunch of that shit.
Same.
I'm conservative as fuck on taxes, though.
Yeah, dude. Like, well, for taxes, I don't want to pay them. That's how I feel about taxes. Please don't let me pay them anymore. But as far as social issues, I don't care. As long, like you said, as long as you don't bring kids into it. And I don't ever really speak on anything. But suddenly, in the last, it's been pretty recent, right? Like a year, very recently, that spectrum of the left that just continues to just agree with anybody, they are like, oh, now if you don't believe that giving a 7-year-old hormones, if you don't believe that's helps them in their long run, then you're a bigot now, and you want them to die and commit suicide. I'm like, what the fuck? No.
It's fucking crazy,
dude. When I was 9 years old, I was quite literally clinically probably retarded. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be a dinosaur, but I didn't make my parents seek out surgery to have scales grafted onto my skin.
Pussy.
Because it'd be insane, right? But for some reason, God, and I can't believe that makes you left now, or makes you conservative now, or like alt-right or something. If you just don't think kids should be getting cut up, that's pretty much it. And I feel like that's reasonable. It's more than reasonable, but suddenly it's evil. Man, I talked about this to Gothics on my last show.
She's pretty cool. I like her.
She's super, super intelligent. And we talked about it for like an hour. And after the show went live, and the show's getting views after it went live, and I am slowly losing subs. And if you go to the stream, I've lost like 180 subs from that stream. And it's because and all we talked about was, that and other stupid stuff. That's it. That's it. Yep. And like, there are actually people watching this stream right now that haven't seen my content in a while, that think because I don't want a 9-year-old to get his penis surgically cut off, that they're unsubbing now because of that. Are you kidding me?
All I can say to those people is good fucking riddance.
Yeah, like how, dude, how can you believe? How is there anybody that of sane mind that believes that would be okay? That's insane. God damn, it's crazy as hell. Lord Torchwick says, found out Harvey Weinstein was moved to the local prison to improve his health. You should go visit him, Lord. Get on it, doggone it. Wolf Spain says, I like Fresh and Fit till they started the war with Avon Preach and saw how thin-skinned they are. I don't know anything about the drama, but I do like Abba and Preach. I've watched them a lot in the past.
Abba and Preach are hilarious.
Yeah. Jerk off, Juggernaut. Wait, did Rackets just say something about going to whatever pod? Please, Rackets, do that and roast these 304s. I can't stand modern college types. I agree, dude. I completely agree with you, Jerk off. 100%. They need a full force of masculinity. The issue is with those shows is I feel like they intentionally vet women, and if the woman is like in any way, shape, or form, like intelligent, they're like, nope, you can't come on. I just feel because they're all so damn stupid.
I don't know if they do. My understanding is the women that they recruit basically like sign up to go into the podcast. And so you're probably self-selecting in that particular way. Yeah. So it's like the woman who wants to go on that show to represent, I'll say hoe culture, even though like that's not what they're thinking, right? But they want to represent like these young, attractive women who are out, and they're gonna fix the whatever guy or his guest, right? Like that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna be the one to make the good point. And if that's your perspective, I think you're fucking toast.
Yeah, because they always go on and they say the same shit. Because you know how like the number one question is like, what do you have to offer this man that makes $1 million a year? And they're always like, loyalty and my personality. And it's like, did you even watch this shit before you came on? Because you're about to get wrecked. Your asshole will never make a fart again. It'll be no sounds coming out your ass because you're about to get wrecked immediately if you say some stupid shit like that. As if there is 6 billion of y'all asses floating around. Come on now.
Yeah.
Laughing Eye says, I'm tired of hearing about from those channels that I'm worthless because I'm over 40. So to clarify that, I agree with that. Yeah. To clarify that, the issue is it's the conversation in itself. So they're not saying that women over 40 or 27 are worthless. They're saying they don't have value in the top tier dating market. That's what they're saying, but it's never prefaced with that. And even though that's what I understand, because I understand what the conversation is, a lot of people will jump in and it's like, oh, you're 28. Why would anybody be with you? And it's like, well, a millionaire guy won't be with you is what they're saying. Who's going to get the millionaire guy? No one.
Here's the thing. And people confuse the top tier dating market as an objective top tier dating market.
Yeah.
But they're talking about a very specific subset of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're talking about middle age or even younger men. So like in their late 30s to early 50s is kind of the demographic range.
Yep.
Who are extremely successful.
Yes.
You're talking about they make millions of dollars a year, or they have millions of dollars in the bank. They have their own property. They're not in significant debt. They probably don't have, like, if they do have a divorce under their belt, they're not dying from that divorce. They're not struggling anymore. So what are they looking for? I mean, if what you bring to the table is, well, I can cook okay, it's like, well, they can hire a chef.
Yeah.
I have a job and a PhD. They don't need your income. What they need, and what these girls don't get is like, and they don't need a hot girl because there's another hot girl.
Yeah.
What they really want and need is an actual companion who is pleasing to be around.
That's it.
And that's what these girls like. They're always looking for the thing that they can offer. And the thing that they can offer really is, do you connect with this person? The problem is, if you're 21, broke chick whose entire identity is being hot, you're going to have a hard time connecting someone who built a fucking business, worked his ass off, sacrificed a huge chunk of his young adult life, didn't go out and party, didn't do all this stuff, and he just worked and he made it happen. And if you're like, well, I went out and partied and banged like 50 dudes, he's like, yeah, I don't relate to that. And I don't want to hear your stories about all the cock that went through your mouth. Like that just isn't appealing. Now, if that's your identity and that's what you're doing, that's not going to be of high value. If your identity lies somewhere else and you can offer that companionship and an interesting travel companion, especially if you're talking to someone who's going across the globe, someone that will be on their arm, but also be with them, experience things together. That's the shit. I mean, that's what Lady Rackets and I do. Like, I love bringing her places because we get to go do stuff together. And there's, if it was some other hot chick, we probably wouldn't have any fun.
Right.
Like, aside from, you bang it out in the hotel room, and then what do you do the rest of the time? I like to sit down next to my wife and just talk to her. That's what these guys want. They want companionship.
They want companionship and peace. That's pretty much it.
Yes.
And the issue is, like what they say is when you get home, you don't want after a long day of stress, you don't want the first thing you do to get home is your lady in your face saying, you didn't do this, I'm pissed at you, we need to talk about this. That's not bringing peace.
Yep.
And that's pretty much somebody that's pleasant to be around and just fun to be around. That's it. That's like all that. Men are simple, except the issue is all these women, 95% of them are combative all the time because they've been brought up in this generation to where they have to be combative. They have to be combative to be successful. They also have to go to school. They have to get a high profile job now, or they think they do. They've been told they were supposed to. So you develop a personality that makes you kind of an asshole, and you're not really compatible to be with a man. Now, a man in that same situation has a high profile job, he is very compatible to be with a woman. That's the difference. Now, all you have to do is bring peace. I get home and you're like, hey, did you have a good day? Yeah, not really. You sit down, they fluff your pillow and suck on your toes a little bit. And then you're good to go. And then, Nick, after she sucks your toes and you're good to go, you relax for 20 minutes. You can be like, all right, let's hit these chores together. Now, it doesn't mean she does everything. It just means she brings you that peace, and that's it.
Dude, I said that I went on a drunken tirade about this so many months ago, and like I was like, oh fuck, the next day after you have a really drunk show, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
but
dude.
I started getting emails from a bunch of women who watched it, and they're like, thank you. You reminded me, because what I said was this: all we want on earth is that when we walk through the door, you see us and you're happy that it's us.
Yeah.
Like that. It's really that simple. And you're just there and you're like, hey, I'm so glad you're home. And then you get exactly what you're saying. The guy sits down for a minute, you get a little bit of peace, and then you can do whatever comes next. You get to hear about their day, but you've got to deprogram. You were likely on a damn phone call pulling into the fucking driveway if you're a busy dude anyway. And you don't have to be a millionaire for that. I mean, dudes out there, fuck, when I was at Thrivent, I was still making like 35 grand a year. I was taking phone calls for work on the way home because your job just never fucking leaves. That's just how our culture is these days. And so it's like, you just need that. And I want to address one thing in the chat. Oh, holy hell says, but you met in your 20s though. Yes, me and Lady Raggets met in our 20s. But what I'm telling you is that as a 41-year-old man who has achieved relatively good levels of success, if Lady Rackets doesn't exist, I need someone who fits what she does. Now, we built that over 20 years. And what these girls who are 20 years old and looking for a millionaire, and that's a critical element. These girls are looking and believe they deserve a guy who makes $500K to $1 million a year. They need to be able to step immediately into that companionship role because that's what that guy is looking for. And he'll go through 22-year-olds until he finds the hot one who can do it. And if you're not that one, you're never going to make it. But these girls are like, well, I look good in a swimsuit. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
It's like, how many of those there are? There's like 100,000 of y'all to the one guy that's rich. That's the issue. Like, you're not bringing anything to the table. And it's they think, oh, well, I'm cool to be around. What they don't understand is if you've been attractive your whole life, you've been popular, everybody's liked you, you've been coddled because you're an attractive woman. Let's be honest, if you're an attractive woman, chances are you're going to be coddled your whole life. Once you get to
unless you're
21,
recently attractive.
yeah. If you're 21, 22, I'm sorry. Without strife, you likely haven't built a personality to bridge that gap. I was a fat kid my whole life, obese. So to fit in with the kids at school, I really leaned into my personality, and I've, always been kind of goofy and crazy and jokey and stuff. And that kind of became who I was, and it's who I am now. And I can't turn that shit off, right? But I developed that personality because I had to do something to fit in with these people. Now I'm not a fat kid anymore. So when women meet me, they're like, wow, you're way different than all these other guys because you're not afraid to just fucking like twerk in the middle of the goddamn McDonald's and shit. No one cares. You're really cool. You don't care. You just want to be yourself. And I'm like, well, that's just how I am. And they're like, oh my God, I haven't met a guy like you ever. And I'm like, what? I'm just the normal ass dude. Like, that's the issue is these women haven't developed a personality. Therefore, man, I will take a 7.5 that is peaceful to be around, that is 26, 27 years old. I don't give a damn. And she's just kick ass. She has a good personality and I can talk to her. I'll take that over a girl that's brain dead and smooth brained all day, but she looks good in a bikini. Dude, I don't give a fuck. Shit, who gives a damn? Wicked Virtue, speaking of looking good in bikinis, how you doing, movie? Thank you so much. Slack Lust says, you mean while in Vegas, you didn't act like Ralph and get a cheap hooker while texting other YouTubers begging them to hook up because you got money at the bank?
Oh, God, no.
It kind of sounds, I kind of want to have a Ralph Vegas trip where I bank cheap hookers.
Ooh.
Thank you, Slag Lust. Patrick Power, what's up, CAMELCAST? How you doing? How you doing, Patrick? Where the hell you been, baby? Jesus. My boy's here. Lamar, hail Camelot, hail Rackets, and hail to the fellowship. Thank you so much. Rochester, Cycle Cam, Cody, here's a gold boy towards Fight Milk. Nick, I tipped you on message in Locals live chat because YouTube censor won't let me put it here. Thank you, Rochester. I appreciate it.
I got it. Can I read it?
Yeah.
Nick, check Dr. Turtleboy on Twitter. He was swatted tonight and has recorded phone calls from harassers. He might be facing felony wiretapping charges for recording threatening phone calls. I'm trying to live/super chat this on Camelot stream, and YouTube is being fucking gay.
Well, I'm assuming that it's a two-party consent state or something that he got those harassing phone calls in?
Maybe.
There's only like 9 of those now, isn't there?
There aren't that many, and I don't know about them being felony wiretapping charges, recording your own phone line. Typically, wiretapping charges, now two-party consent and wiretapping often can go hand in hand, but they're, the intent of these statutes is that you're tapping into someone else's conversation, not recording your own conversation. And I'd be hesitant to think he's going to get a felony charge on that, especially if he's being harassed, because the idea that you can't record your own evidence of harassment is probably not in the intent of two-party consent states. Like someone sitting there, you little bitch, you piece of shit, I'll murder you. I'm gonna murder. Do I have consent to record this call? Like it's an absurd outcome. So I've never heard of Dr. Turtleboy. I don't know who he is, but if someone can put him in contact with me, I'd happily talk to him. Maybe I can help ease his mind.
Well, hell yeah.
Damn it, Ghazni. He says, I have case on that.
Shit. Zay Comic says, what's up, boys? Shirts better be coming off tonight. Well, we're 160 away from shirts off. Wanted to let everybody know my comic book, The Lost Pages 3, has a week left on IGG. We're close to breaking 30K. Thanks for it. Dude, send me a link to that. Thank you, Zaid. I appreciate that. Zaid Comics, my boy. Make money. Thanks for the video on male loneliness. It needs to be discussed more. We are the backbone of society and killing yourself because of it. Thank you so much. That's an old video. I'm glad you watched that. Thank you so much. Xena B. I'm way over 40, but I've never taken offense. Most of it's true and doesn't apply. Exactly, Xena. See, Xena's a smart ass. So that's the issue. A woman that's 40 years old, 37, 30, 29, right? 50. Fuck, right? You got to be like Carrie Davidson. You're watching that stuff. When they're saying shit that is disparaging, or you think is disparaging to you, it's because you're taking it too personally. It's not about you. Don't think they're talking about you. It doesn't apply to you. They're talking to a tiny subset of people. You're not in that. I'm not in that subset of people. I don't make $500K a year. I'm not in that guy. I'm not that guy. Right. So,
and the other part of that is, yeah, it's what you're saying. They're talking to a tiny subset of people in a very specific dating market. And the interesting thing is, almost everyone watching this is not anywhere near that fucking dating market.
Yep.
And so like I know this woman. She's beautiful. She's 40 years old. But she's hotter than a ton of 20 somethings that I'll see when I'm out at a club or a beach or whatever. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's single. She's looking for a dude, and she's completely traditional in like cooks, cleans, like just wants someone to literally love, and is constantly told that she's worthless. And then there's these weird guys on the internet who's like, no, I need a 24-year-old. It's like, do you actually need a 20? Like, do you really want like that many children that badly? Like, do you want this? And I think a lot of dudes online get kind of suckered into this idea that they definitely want like a family. And look, I love my family, and I think they're great, and it's the right life for me. But I've met a bunch of people who it's not the right life for, and it just blows my mind that there's guys out there who probably would get along with this chick, would blow their mind in attractiveness and all of that stuff, and they'd be like, well, but you're not 24 though. And it's like, dude, like,
it's a fucking, I love that. I saw that on Twitter the other day. All right, there was a guy that quoted something from the Manosphere, and I looked at his profile picture, and it was like a fat bearded bald guy, and he's like, yeah, bro, like, you're not, like, you're too old to be valuable in the market. Like, I'm looking for something. And I'm like, dude, that is not you. You are not that guy.
Yep.
That is like fucking P. Diddy and a couple NBA players and maybe a master damn engineer that has 30 years experience is making $275K, maybe a surgeon. That's not you. Living in your mama's basement, playing freaking World of Warcraft Classic, and like streaming to one viewer. You are not the guy that gets the 24-year-old hot girl. That's not you. All right, that is and guys see that the guys make the same mistake, and that's probably what's damaging most from the Manosphere content. And keep in mind, look, I like a lot of it. Some of it's fun, but it's kind of getting monotonous now. The issue is a lot of dumbass dudes out there are like watching it, and they're doing the same thing that women are doing when they watch it. Women are like offended because they're reading too much into it and thinking they're speaking of themselves, and the men on the other end of the spectrum. Like, you got like some dude with Down syndrome. He's like, that's me. I'm that guy. And he's looking for he thinks it applies to him now. And I'm like, no, it's not you, bruh. That's not you. Like, it's so silly. Speaking of silly, Peter Frazee. Hey, fellas, hope you both had a good Easter. Keep up the great work. Nick fat shame me. I need to get back into the gym. I'm 236.5. I want to get back. That's not that bad. I look like Slenderman that has a beer gut. That's really not that bad, Peter. But I will let him fat shame you. But thank you so much for your orange boy. I didn't celebrate Easter because I don't really have family. I actually just worked out all day. So thank you, Peter. I love you. Go ahead, Nick. Fat shame his ass.
Camelot says it's not that bad. But brother, it is that bad. You know why? Because I know the body shape. I know the body type. And I know the disappointment. What you need to do, man, you need to get under 200. And how you've got to do it is very simple. Start moving. Stop eating. Start moving. Don't go to the gym yet. Don't do that. You don't deserve the gym. Your fat ass can't fit through the door. You're gonna lay down and bench press? You got a fucking 8-inch advantage because you're bouncing it off your fucking stomach? No, you don't get the gym yet. You cut that weight first, and then you build yourself up afterwards. Because otherwise, all you're gonna do is build up everything around that soft belly, and it's just gonna sit there jiggling every time you're in the gym twerking with Camelot. Your belly's gonna be floating around like a bowl full of melting butter. No, disgusting. You disgust me, you hideous monster. Stop eating. Start walking. And then when you get down under 200, then you start lifting. Then you start building, and you start building it into your titties rather than into that tummy. Get there, brother. You can do it.
Thank you, Nick. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Appreciate it. Dude, speaking of that, so I think I realized a core memory unlocked why I started getting into fitness. I remember I was driving my 68 Mustang. It was like 2013. And I was driving my 68 Mustang. You know, the suspension on those things are like freaking on a cloud, right? Yeah, boop, 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 boop. And I remember going over one of those, I was on the interstate and it goes over a bridge on the interstate. And it does that thing where it's like bump, 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 because that's what they always do. And I remember being in my 68 Mustang and doing this, and my tits were bouncing. And I was like, bro, I got to go somewhere and fix this shit. And I think that's what the catalyst was, because my titties were just jiggling everywhere, dude. They were fat as hell. Legal layman, speaking of fat as hell, howdy, gents. 2 fight milk going to shell my Rumble. Thank you, dude. Trying to get at least 20 followers. Locals, Twitter, and Rumble can be found on my channel. Trying to get some traction. Hope tonight is fun. Keep on it. Camelot, get toasted. Nick, thank you, Legal Layman. Follow Legal Layman on Rumble. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I am 300 followers on Rumble from 10,000 finally.
Ooh.
Damn. Only took 4 months. Jesus. Thank you, Legal Layman. I love you, dude. I appreciate that.
Look, even if you're a viewer on YouTube and you're not going to go watch on Rumble yet, that's fine. Get your ass over there and just subscribe, man. Get this motherfucker to 10K. He deserves way more than 10K. He's been putting on one of the best damn shows that I've seen in a long time lately with these CAMELCasts. They're all fun. And guys, look. This man is booking 3 guests a week. I wish I could express to you how much fucking work it is to book 3 different guests and new people every week. It is insane.
Yep.
It is so difficult to do it. That's why I don't bring so many guests on my show unless a cavalcade of things happens that gets me in contact with people. Trying to get 3 new people a fucking week is almost a full-time damn job. It is unreal.
It is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. Dude,
when you said you're like, oh, I'm going to do it these 3 days of different person every day. I'm like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. And then, dude, at least once a week, they cancel like 2 hours before. And I'm like, fuck, like, no. It's so stressful. Dude, it's so stressful. Thank you, Snafu. Of course. I did that before the stream started. Patrick says, you got my number you can call. Bro, Patrick, dude, when I'm working on my car, for example, been doing that a lot lately because the racing's already going now. We're racing now. Man, I'll put my phone down upstairs and I'll look at it for like 8 hours. It's freaking wild. So thank you, Patrick. If I can remember to, I'll give you a sweet kiss on the penis. Thank you, Richard. I'm a -3 out of 10. Fill all my entry points, please. Thank you, Richard. I love you. I appreciate you. God, there's so many damn super chats. Carrie Davidson, I just was talking about you. Thank you, baby. She says facts, Camelot. Love you. Thank you, baby. And one more. I think it's Fire PA. We're going down. And we're 130 from Naked Snake, boys, by the way.
Damn.
We're already almost there. We just started. The Fire PA says, let's go Islanders. Clinched a postseason spot tonight and knocked the Pittsburgh Penguins out of the playoff picture. Yes. Is that hockey? That sounds hockey-y.
Yep, that's hockey.
Hell yeah, dude. Fire PA, I love you. I appreciate you. You're goated. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Somebody said 5'10", 290. That's pretty big.
That's a big fella.
Yeah, because I'm 5'11", and I'm like 190. And I feel pretty fat sometimes. Like, dude, I'll eat like, man, I drank 4 White Claws yesterday. And I was like walking up the stairs, and my gut was jiggling. And I was like, damn, son, I'm fat as hell.
Dude, I'm up to 192. 6'2", 192, and I feel little bloaty when I'm up above 185. I feel bloaty as shit. And
and you don't look like, every time I see you, you look like a skinny tall guy. Every time I see you.
But when the curse of being fucking 40, 41 in my case, is that when you gain those 5 pounds, they're all right in your stomach. Yeah. And then when you lose them from your stomach, which is good. But that's where they go. It's like you don't proportionally grow out that extra weight. It goes right to your fucking stomach. The good news is it's usually water weight associated or what you ate the past like 2 days, and shit'll just build up, and you have to maybe spend a day eating a little cleaner or whatever, and things get better. But damn, it hits the old self-esteem real fucking quick.
I noticed that the older I get, the more it goes to my gut. And I'll be in the gym, and I'll have a tank top on, and my left arm, I'll be doing some like Arnold curls and shit. And my shoulder looks like a bowling ball, and there's 3 veins in it. And my bicep looks like a road map. And I'm like, damn, I am shredded looking. Yeah. I go in the locker room, and I take my shirt off, and I just have a fucking belly. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? It's like the more cut my arms get, it just diverts it to my belly even more. So what the hell's going? It's just man. And dude, freaking my girl that I always hang out with, she brought some. She had some donuts. She just had donuts. She left them at my house.
That bitch.
Yeah, and it's the powdered ones. It's like 12 cinnamon powdered ones or some shit. And I was like, I had to go to the gym. I was in a hurry. And then I had to get a plumber because the freaking neighbors called the damn code people on me. And I took one bite of that bitch. And I was like, oh, I took one bite and I put it back down. Just one of those little donuts. And I was like, damn, that's real good. And I was like walking around finding my keys. And I found my keys like 4 minutes later. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to take another bite of that bitch. Because it's just so good.
Yeah.
God, they're good. They're like, oh, it's violent. David Bright, I love you. Ooh, right to the stomach, dude. Right to my ass cheeks. I wish it went to my ass cheeks, to be honest. But it doesn't. Dude, speaking of ass cheeks, by the way, Patrick said he's 6'1" and 225. Damn, son. He is a unit. He can punch a hole in a wall, son. I wish I was like 6'4" and like 210 of solid muscle. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
anyway,
that is a strong build.
Yeah,
right there.
Dude. I had so I was flat benching the other day. And I'm not the biggest guy in my gym by any stretch of the imagination. There is like a bunch of like 30, 40 dudes bigger than me, more impressive looking by far.
Sure.
And I look pretty thick though. So I was benching. And now I am one of the strongest guys in flat bench in my gym though. I've seen one guy bench more and he holds the state record. And he doesn't go to my gym anymore. So I was benching like 385 the other day. And I de-racked it, and I had some real good reps. I had like 4 really slick reps. Just boop, boop, 4 good reps. And this dude walked over to me. It's like 6'4", had a beard down to his freaking tits, and was just the size of a house, just huge. And he was like, dude, that's super impressive. He's like, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. And he's like, he fist bumped me, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, like, you don't get compliments often as a guy. And damn, I thought about that for like 3 days.
Camelot grew a vagina and it got wet.
Yeah, dude, I was dripping. I was like, thank you so much. And his beard was like perfect looking. It looked like it was freaking attached like clay. It looked like it was like a clay figure.
A mold of a beard.
It was just perfect. And it was like so dense that it was just black, like boom. And I was like, damn.
Was it white on the sides, but black down the middle? No. Was he bald?
No, he don't put no dildos in him. Thank God.
Did he have his heels up here?
Oh my God.
Shit.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Anyways, speaking of having heels in the ass, dude, I've been seeing a lot of shit. And now, look, I can get a little conspiracy theorist a little bit.
Yeah.
But every other day, and I'm seeing more and more people be vocal about it, about gun control.
Oh, yeah.
Every day. And look, like, I don't necessarily disagree, and I'm sure you probably disagree with this to an extent. I don't really disagree with, some more more extreme background checks, or maybe looking into mental health and stuff, because a lot of people with like extreme mental issues are getting guns, even though it doesn't prevent it all the time. Let's be honest. But I'm not exactly against looking at some things like we can do, looking at people's backgrounds, maybe looking at their mental health, maybe. But as far as, I don't think AR-15 should even be in the discussion, because they make up like 0.004% of the gun murders in the country.
Right.
Let
me tell you why you're wrong.
Okay.
It's okay. No, because what you say is reasonable.
Yeah.
Right? In a reasoned society with reasonable rulers and reasonable people, we go, you know what? If someone's fucking off their ticker, maybe we don't give them an implement of destruction. Like, and maybe they shouldn't have knives around them either. Like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you got a crazy motherfucker, probably don't hand him a gun. And I think everybody out in the audience can agree. If you know some motherfucker is crazy, you're not going to hand him your 9mm. I'm not going to hand him mine. I don't care how many fucking rights he has. All right. But who is making the determination? How's it being made?
Yeah.
This is the problem with it, and why we always have to be vigilant against what sounds reasonable, because what sounds reasonable is what sells poison to people all the time.
Well, it's who gets to, it's kind of like the same definition for, if we start policing hate, who determines what's hate?
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
We know how it goes every time. So eventually, and we've seen studies pop up. Now they're bogus studies, but they're peer-reviewed studies that pop up in journals that say people who have extreme conservative values have some sort of, like, they will literally categorize it as a mental deficiency or some sort of latent psychosis or whatever. They're building the framework to label political enemies as this so that they can disarm them on a whim. Now, when you have someone who is adjudicated as crazy, that's when we get the standard, because that's when they get their due process. They go through the system. A person is now judged to be insane. And now maybe they don't have to go to an insane asylum. Maybe they don't have to go to a prison for whatever reason. But for something that we have a clear standard, and we can say, okay, for the period in which you are under care and not healthy, maybe you're not able to possess a gun in that time. Maybe. And I stick with this, and as an extreme, maybe we could get there. But I so distrust the system of determining these things. What these people want when they say, well, we got to keep their guns out of the hands of a crazy person, they want something called a red flag law. And that's where I call up Alabama State Police and I say, listen, there's this crazy boy Camelot twerking on camera all the time. He's talking about smashing bitches, which sounds very violent, and he wants to get himself a gun. I'm very afraid that if he gets a gun, he might smash a bitch with a bullet instead of with a piano or whatever, because he talks about carrying pianos. He's a big guy, very scary. And they will come to your house. They will put you on a 72-hour hold, and they will confiscate any firearms that are in your house without a trial, without a hearing, without a damn thing. And then you have to pay a shitload of money to try and get it back. Even if you come out of that 72-hour thing and you're like, that was weird, that was all nonsense, none of that stuff was true, and they're like, yeah, it was. Now you have to sue to get your own property returned to you, because the state hates to return guns to people. And that shit cannot stand. And if we want that to happen, now, this is the caveat, and this is a hard caveat for the right to swallow too. If we want stuff like that to happen, the only thing preventing it right now is our understanding of rights under the Constitution. The Constitution should not allow that to happen. But if we amend the Constitution to allow that to happen, because as a society we decide that that's what we want, then we can have that type of stuff. And I think the scary thing is it's possible that some type of amendment on this would go through in the future, and then we're in a real conundrum with the right, self included, where we go, okay, I get now that the government by amendment has the ability to do this, and that means that like 60% of the country or more wants it, but I still don't fucking want it. And that's when things get really scary.
Dude. Okay, so like, see how fast you changed my mind? So I don't really see, I didn't consider certain things because I've never applied it to guns. I apply it to a lot of things like social media posts, stuff like that. But you're 100% right. If for some odd reason there's an amendment and things change slightly, suddenly if I say something that could be disparaging towards, let's say, the current person in power or something like that, suddenly there's a red flag on my social media. Suddenly I'm failing background checks for getting a weapon. Yeah, so that makes a lot of damn sense.
Imagine how quick your boy Brandon Herrera or Donut Operator get disarmed.
Done. Yep, they'd be done.
They have political opinions that, and it doesn't matter what political opinion it is now a weapon. It is now a weapon, even if you agree with their political opinions, but you know, they made fun of you, they didn't read your super chat, literally anything. And the feds come in and take every weapon of Brandon Herrera, the AK guy. What's he do? What's his YouTube channel do after that? Yep. And I mean, he could, I guess, document his fight to get them back and hope and pray people stick around. But you know, that's a toss. That's a toss up on if that'll work. And
you're 100% right. So the most important thing in that situation. So I said a minute ago, maybe there's more extensive background checks, but like you said, you can't trust the system because you may fail that background check because maybe you said something that they could deem as dangerous. Like, I mean, shit. I mean, look at it right now. You're 100% accurate. Look at it right now. Let's say I just put MAGA 2024 on Twitter. That would, if there was a law in place that like popped up red flags for social media, I would definitely I'd be fucked right there.
What was it? The FBI or the CIA just released a report that people who use red pill, black pill, and based. are dangerous
Yeah.
And potential terror, or potential terror suspects. Like, wait, what the fuck?
And the FBI is saying this for some odd reason. The FBI is like,
they're very much, well, we know why the FBI is,
for some reason.
I know why the FBI is looking into this. Another one was, I think, Chad. And we know that the FBI is constantly, they're trying to find out how to become Chadley because they're a bunch of bitches.
Could you imagine? It's like your name is just Chad. God. Slanging nanners. What's up, you beautiful bastard? What's we drinking? Also, Rackets is not a woman for any of the doubters out there. Yeah. I'm drinking White Claw because I'm a bitch. So yeah, dude, I
haven't had any liquor yet. I could.
I 100% have changed my opinion now. That's where I just never really considered that there's so many variables that you could be considered dangerous depending on who is in power and who says what is dangerous. Because I feel very strongly about not policing language, because who then determines what language is dangerous? And it's the same fucking system that would determine what is dangerous in a background check.
Well, my job here is done.
There you go. Nick changed my mind in 1 minute. American virus is freedom. As a vet, please don't let my mental health be a judge of 2A rights. The Rambo effect, and the federal government knows my medical records. Thank you, American virus is freedom. That's another good point as well. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's one of the shitty things that they've been doing or trying to do, or I think even successfully doing to veterans, is they will offer them, they want them to get care for post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
For example. And then when they do, that post-traumatic stress adds a flag to their background check. And suddenly they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go out and buy this rifle, or I'm going to buy this handgun or whatever. And nope, you can't do it because you sought out care for your post-traumatic stress. So then it keeps these dudes who could really use some help, some counseling, some care from seeking that out, because it means the sacrificing of their rights. And that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. It's crazy, because I said something in defense of the Second Amendment on Twitter recently, because I'm pro 2A, and I'm from Alabama, of course I am. So I said something on Twitter to the degree of that, and it was aimed at old David Hogg. Is that his name? Old Hogg.
Yeah. David the pillow biter Hogg.
That I was about to say that he loves getting just duked. And anyways,
David opens wide for a big hog.
David, his farts haven't made a noise since 2011 hog. So I said something disparaging against him, of course. It wasn't like personal. It was just like, something with a 2A. And somebody was like, dude, he's just asking for certain reasonable avenues. He doesn't want to ban all guns. Dude, I shit you not. 20 minutes later, David Hogg tweeted about how good the U.S. would be if we got rid of guns tomorrow. I'm like, this son of a bitch doesn't. What? He totally wants to ban. That's his whole. That's his whole platform. He's grifting off of his fellow students that died, and he's been making a career off of it for fucking a decade now.
If you need to add the adjective reasonable to support your argument, well, it's just a reasonable restriction. It's just a reasonable test, a reasonable check, a reasonable thing. That is a code word. That is a code word for shoveling bullshit down your gullet. Be very skeptical to anyone who says they want a reasonable thing, because they are rarely reasonable, often impractical, and even more often outright fucking tyrannical.
Yep, 100%. Trent Westbrook says Ferrari red. It's the second red boy of the stream. Trent ties for the top dog spot with old Juggernaut. Thank you so much, Trent, you sexy bastard. We are 15 from Naked Snake, 515 from Fight Milk. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a swig in honor of Trent Westbrook. I love you and I appreciate you. Get the hell on it, diggity dog on it.
I keep telling my kids when, I'm like, we got to go. Let's get on it, doggone it. Like, you have infected me with Alabama. And my kids always look at me weird.
Is that an Alabama thing? I think my ex-wife said it to me when I was like 19, and it stuck. She was like, get on it, doggone it. And I was like, what the fuck?
I like it. It's so damn it flows so well,
Get at it, dagnabbit. Yeah, that's a good one. Thank you, Trent Westbrook. I love you and I appreciate you. You're goated as hell, sexy bastard. There you go, getting us all the way there. I love you. Yeah, so yeah, dude, I totally agree now. No more extensive background checks. So the reason I was looking at it in that way before you brutally changed my mind and made me look like a fool. A fool.
No, you're not a fool. You're just a dude who's like, look, I see a problem. There is a problem. People getting shot sucks. It's horrible. And they're getting shot by crazy motherfuckers because you got to be a little crazy usually to just go out and without prompting shoot someone. So you go, look, maybe if we just figured out how to keep these fucking crazy people from getting guns, the rest of us could enjoy them. That is quintessentially reasonable thinking. I just wish it fucking worked that way.
Yeah. Dude, I completely agree. The reason I was seeing it in that way, because dude, I buy a lot of guns because I'm from Alabama again. And dude, it's when I go to the gun place, they have like everything under the sun. They got Barrett 50 cal, they got everything. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
And I get guns every couple of months, depending on what I'm looking for. And they do a background check, but it is like 32 seconds. It is that fast. Yeah. And I'm just like, I always think to myself, I'm like, damn, that is fast as hell. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what framed my opinion. It's like, damn, that was quick. Like it's like, what are they looking up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck
but you know the internet, right? Like, you know how
Yeah.
communication and information works and moves in today's society. Let's say they expanded that background check to an extra day. What more information are they going to get in a day versus a minute today?
Considering technology is instant now. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because it sounds like, oh man, if we just added a little more time, they do a deeper dive. But you're not going to get an ATF agent calling up your school, like your old school teachers, your football coach. Like, they're not going to do that. They can't do that. That would, one, it's way too, it would take way too much time and manpower. And two, we have a Sixth Amendment right to confront our accusers. So let's say they call up your football coach and you're like, oh, that boy was always violent. I never really trusted him. Do they then, in theory, would have to tell you who said the negative thing about you and allow you the opportunity to cross-examine that person and to go through it. You cannot be deprived of your rights by someone spitting some untruth on you and you not having the opportunity to address that. And so when we start to get into the practicality of what does an extra day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, a week, some of these people want for background check, what does that improve in the background check? Nothing. Their goal in that is to extend the amount of time between the time of purchase and the time of acquisition, because they believe, and I will say falsely, that people go out and buy the gun to immediately go murder someone. They're like, oh, they're all amped up and they're like, I'm going to kill this motherfucker. Just let me stop at Gander Mountain first and buy a rifle so I can kill this motherfucker. And then they do it and they go shoot someone. That almost never happens. Almost all of the guns that are used in some sort of shooting that are legally acquired a significant amount of time prior to the actual shooting. There is, of course, a small percentage of people who will buy a gun and use it within 24 hours, 48 hours, of course. But that's not the overwhelming case. But that's the story that they sell. Well, we just need to make a waiting period because then they'll cool off and not want to murder someone. It's like, dude, that's not how murder works.
Yeah. Wicked Virtue, by the way, says, she gives a super sticker. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you. Sonia says, I love you, mi amor. Thank you so much, Sonia. Sonia, you need to start coming to my damn meetups. All right. You can meet Nick one day. He's a great man. Thank you.
Hell
Sonia.
yeah.
Look how
come to Nashville.
Look at her Latino ass. Beautiful girl.
Come to Matsuri or Nashville. That'll be great.
That would be great. Ashley says, hey, babe. Thank you. Appreciate you, Ashley. Get the hell on it, doggone it. Thank you. And she does one on locals. She always does one on locals and on YouTube at the exact same time. Thank you so much.
Her.
Thank you, Georgina. Late and gay. Haven't been to the gym since my girl was born 7 years ago. Damn. Any tips or shaming for starting back up to shed this dad bod? 6'5" and 215. What the fuck? That is not bad. First rant. Love the shows. Thank you for the Rumble rant. I appreciate you, dude. American Legend as well. I appreciate you. Says Nick, I want marriage and a son. Thank you, American Legend.
Get it?
Yeah. Any tips, dude? Just go to the gym and just get into that mindset. Get reacclimated to the culture. Lift some shit. Get sore because you're gonna get sore as shit, man. You're gonna be real sore the first couple times. Just get that out of the way. Put some earbuds in. Listen to some Lamb of God or some shit. Go hard. Take some pre-workout, dude. I'm telling you. It's easier than you think. And then after 3 weeks, man, the hard part's over. You just got to keep it up, man. That's it. Jessica Reloaded. What's up, baby? Sup, my bingers. By the way, I missed her freaking show.
Me too.
Dude, I texted her today because I was going through my DMs and I saw her and I clicked it and she was like, here's a link for my show. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, is that tonight? And she was like, it was yesterday. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm such a bad friend. Like, damn it, Jessica, I'm sorry. Thank you. I appreciate
Jessica, we both feel really bad about it. And Camelot said everything I would have said.
Yeah, I felt pretty bad, dude. I was like, God, I always do this shit. But yeah, dude, been wild as hell. Do you think, can you think of any, like, from your, your opinion, because you're really knowledgeable on the subject, more knowledgeable than me, right? So do you think there's any improvements that can be made for as far as gun control goes? Or do you think we just say fuck it and leave it exactly how it is?
No, I say we say fuck it, and we open it up to what it's supposed to be. Actually,
and is that like just nationwide, federally, same shit?
It's pretty close. Well, so here's, and it's starting to happen from the Fifth Circuit, and then the Supreme Court's going to have to address it. But a lot of these regulations and restrictions are actually getting struck down after this 2021 or 2022, I can't remember, Bruin decision, because of what Clarence Thomas put in the decision. He said that any regulation or restriction on guns has to be within the common and historical traditions at the time of the adoption of the Second Amendment, which is pretty crazy, right? Because there's not a lot that we do. Right. One thing that we do, and has been done to every right, and we have accepted as a society that this is okay, is that when someone commits a certain level of criminal act and they are convicted for it, they lose access to the right for a period of time that could, depending on the circumstances, last the rest of their life. Right. So let's say we've got someone who goes into a mall and he shoots. He doesn't kill anybody, but he's just going blam, blam, blam. He's very irresponsible with a gun. Yeah. So he's got a felony reckless endangerment charge, maybe probably not attempted murder, but maybe an attempted manslaughter, something like that. So he's got that charge. He loses. He goes to prison. He gets, we'll say 5 years. Because again, no one dies, but he puts a bunch of people in danger and fear. So he gets his 5 years. He serves his 3.5 years because he gets out a little early. He does his 5 years probation. Now, the question is, at the end, he's served his time. Does he get his gun rights back? And this is where it needs to be a case-by-case basis. This man was specifically irresponsible with guns. So there's a good argument to say he never gets his gun rights back. He should maybe get his voting rights back. He should get his speech rights, all of those things. But he doesn't get his gun rights back. Now you got the same sort of situation. Someone embezzles $100,000 from a bank or whatever. They go to federal prison for 5 years. They're out on probation for 5 years. And during that time, they're a felon. They don't get a gun. But they serve their 10. They're all done. Do they get their gun rights back? Their crime had nothing to do with guns. They didn't demonstrate any irresponsibility with guns. So maybe they should get their gun rights back. We currently don't do it this way. We currently say, if you're a felon, you never get your gun rights back. Right. And I think that runs foul of the Second Amendment. I agree. But we're starting to see regulations like that, and this will be attacked, make no mistake. And Amy Coney Barrett's dissenting opinion that she was grilled on during her Supreme Court nomination hearings, they're going to come up as in a positive way on the I guess on the briefs, and maybe even the opinion that overturns that. But what we're seeing in the lower courts, the district courts of the United States, is where they say, just because you're a user of an illegal drug, because right now, if you say, I use cocaine, right? I'm a user of an illegal drug. I use cocaine. Therefore, the government will not allow you to own a gun. It's like, wait, why? And we're finally asking this question. Why can't someone who on occasion has used cocaine own a gun? Now, we don't want them to use a gun while they're on it. We don't want someone who is currently drunk to use a gun. But imagine how crazy it would be if we said, are you a consumer of alcohol? You go, yeah, I have like 3 drinks a week. Nope, you can't own a gun because you might use it while you're intoxicated. Is an unrealistic and insane restriction. But we do it with marijuana, cocaine, LSD, any illegal drug. Any illegal drug gets that. Even if you have a prescription for it, even if it's legal in your state, if it's illegal federally, no gun for you. That just got struck down in the Fifth Circuit. So that's going to end up going to the Supreme Court. Now we've got the other one. There's a domestic violence restraining order against you. And that used to be no guns when you have a domestic violence restraining order. But the judge just said, we don't have a tradition of taking away guns just based on a restraining order, because a restraining order is not proof beyond a reasonable doubt. They just have to raise enough. Basically, they have to get to 51% that the person is in reasonable fear to put the restraining order on them. Now, we can restrain them from using the gun on the person, but wait, so they don't get to defend themselves because someone else came up with a convincing story that they're scared of this person? That doesn't seem right. And that is not the full way we take away someone's rights. So, in my opinion, we need to strip all of this back to what the Second Amendment says: shall not be infringed, which means you only lose your rights when there has been a full adjudication. You have gotten your full due process, and a judge, a competent judge or jury, has decided that you do not get those rights during the time that you are under the state's jurisdiction. That is fine. That is the historical tradition of regulation of every right in the country. Anything beyond that, I think, needs the highest levels of scrutiny and needs to be strongly watched. And I can't perceive what more we need than that, because we don't get to do pre-crime. We don't get to say, oh, you just don't get a gun because you might do something. Fuck that. Fuck the government.
Yeah. And I feel like if you look at places, for example, like where I live, that is just, so I can open carry wherever I want. Like where I live, I can just have a freaking Desert Eagle on my belt if I want to, correct? So that being the case, no one, the amount of crime, specifically where I am, is so low, right? It's a very, very, because would you break into a house, Nick? Would you break into a house if you knew for a fact that all these people on your street had like 9-12 gauges in their house?
Fuck that.
No, but if you lived in Chicago and you know you're in a gun-free zone and you can't own a gun legally in this gun-free zone, you might be like, I'll go in there. I can break in there. They're not going to shoot me, right? Because, which this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but it's so damn annoying when I watch horror movies. I watched one yesterday. It is so annoying when and it was a horror movie based on a stalker, not a ghost or anything. It's so annoying when it's like 3 a.m. in these movies and somebody's trying to break into the house, or they do break into the house, or they sneak into the house, and the main actor that's like scared never has a gun. Ever in these movies, they're always like, oh, they have a baseball bat. I'm like, why do they ever? You could have a gun and you'd be totally fine in all these situations, but you always get your ass kicked and you're always like tied up and getting abused and shit because you didn't have a damn gun every time. It's so silly. So yeah, yep. I agree. I've never really talked about gun control. I've always kind of, I've never really, known a lot of nuance about it, other than, I think I'm pro 2A. So me saying something like maybe there could be more background checks, I didn't really consider the other fact. So I agree with you now that less, just less across the board shall not be infringed. Exactly like you said, because it makes more sense that way. It just does. It makes more sense to just be straight up shall not be infringed. No, thank you, and be done with it, because that's what it says. And disarming people for any reason, especially when like their crime, has nothing to do with that, or like you said, somebody gets a restraining order and now they can't operate, like have a gun, they can't defend themselves in their own homes when they're not even involved with this person, seems very, very insane. So I 100% agree with you. That's you made a lot of very good this is exactly why I wanted to talk about it, because I've never really talked about gun control. All I really think about it is I have a lot of guns. I think guns are cool. That's pretty much the end of it for me, right? So I was like, man, we need to talk about gun control, because I've always kind of like wondered, like, is there improvements to be made? And you made a compelling enough argument that I completely agree. You know what I'm saying? Jessica Reloaded says, stop fucking apologizing. I love you. Thank you, Jessica. Appreciate it.
Sorry, Jessica. We're really sorry. We'll stop apologizing. God,
I'm sorry.
We keep fucking up. I'm so sorry about that.
I'm sorry, Jessica. Cassius Cleo just got here, but from what I've heard so far, my boy Gary Nadrotic needs his gun rights. Dude, I agree with that shit so hard, Cassio. Thank you so much, Cassius. Thank you again. The Orange Boy trains in. We're 4:30 from Fight Milk. It might actually happen.
Real quick, on that one. Yes, Gary does he should have his gun rights back. And again, you guys know Gary. Like, is Gary a risk? Is Nerdrotic the guy who's going to shoot up a mall? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
And does he deserve his right to self-defense with the most efficient self-defense tools that exist? Of course he does. Maybe more than other people because he, as a public persona who goes out to events and does these things, he might be in a greater zone of danger than just someone average, especially because he's got Gary is pissed off literally powerful people because he talks about Disney, he talks about Marvel, he talks about DC. And if you don't think that high-level corporate people have access to very scary shit, and I don't necessarily mean hitmen or something like that, but even just someone who can come and fuck your life up a little bit, rough you up, intimidate you, follow you around. Absolutely, this has happened in history recently with major corporations doing shit like that to people who cause them trouble. Gary's the type of guy who's a perfect candidate to have his gun rights restored. He should have them restored, and he probably could use them more than tons of people who have guns.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I always thought that was really silly because me and Donut talked about that with Gary. I talked about it with Gary personally, and I just think that's really, really silly, especially when it was so long ago now. Like, I don't understand how it can be a permanent thing. This doesn't make any sense to me. Quicks says, Nick, can you speak to all the citations of text history for pro-gun argument? If I recall correctly, they're mainly around disarming colored people. Is that
the history of gun control in this country is literally about removing guns from blacks?
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Could you imagine slave owners did not want blacks to have guns.
Obviously.
After emancipation and after the Civil War, slave owners who used to own that black guy definitely didn't want that black guy to have a gun.
Yeah,
absolutely not. And then when you get into Reagan did some gun disarmament stuff in California when he was still a Democrat before he ran for the Republican presidency. And yeah, I hate to say it, aimed at removing guns from black people in California. I believe specifically the Black Panthers. And let's be honest, Black Panthers are a terrible fucking group of people. But unless those individuals have had their gun rights removed, just because they're a member of a group does not mean they should have those gun rights impaired. And if you don't think that that's right, well, just think you're a member of CAMELCAST. Maybe you're all dangerous. You're a member of the Tea Party or the Proud Boys, whoever it is. If you are able to remove guns from a subset of people by some categorization, it will be eventually applied against you. And it was wrong when Reagan did it. It's wrong when everybody does it. And yes, the historical tradition is typically no guns for the blacks because we want them to build shit and not pay them. I mean, was a true thing. It's moved significantly away from that now. But yeah, that's the origin story.
Well, damn. Well, goddamn. It's like the opposite of Disney or Netflix. Man, I know this is kind of a segue, but I was watching Netflix yesterday because I was, drinking a little. And there was I was watching the show called The Watcher, and it was okay. It was kind of silly. But
The Watcher.
Yeah, it's like there's like a stalker basically because this family moves into a house and it's like a historical house. And of course, at some point in the show, the young like 15-year-old white like daughter starts like making out and like wanting to date like the security guard that's like or the security like employee that's installing their security cameras, like the black kid that's like 19.
Yeah.
And of course, they start making out and shit. And of course, it comes to a point in like one of the episodes where they claim the dad is racist because he doesn't want his daughter making out with a 19-year-old kid, and he's racist. It's like, no, and it's because he's black, and it's always painted that way. It's like, no, it's not because he's black, it's because he's freaking 19. Like, Jesus, trying to smash my 15-year-old daughter. It was real silly, man. It's real silly. And
by the way, to anybody with a 15-year-old daughter, the 19-year-old guy is trying to smash.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Yes,
that's the whole point. And it used to be more extreme though. When I was in high school, dude. Or middle school even, like all the girls that were like 12, 13, they were all dating like 21 and 24-year-old dudes.
So fucking weird, dude.
All of them. Dude, I remember, and I think back when my sister was 14, she was dating like a 20-year-old guy. And I'm like, where did you fucking even meet this dude? Where do you meet a guy when you're 14 that's in his 20s? God, I just always thought it was weird.
It was extremely prevalent. I mean, there was when I was 15, I liked this girl. I mean, never dated her or anything. I liked her, but she was dating a dude who's 26. It's like, how? Like, why? One, why? Two, what the fuck are you doing, you weird dude? Right? Like, just no, I'm just cool. No, it's not cool, brother. Nowadays, and I mean, maybe that's just a product of when I grew up. Like in that would have been in what 1997. I guess it was more acceptable, and it was more acceptable than it is now. Nowadays, you'd have a million people on the internet being like, "Put him on the fucking wall." And I agree. Like, what is a 26-year-old dude doing dating a 15-year-old girl? That's fucking weird.
Yeah, I can't even fathom that shit. That's weird to say. What would you even like relate over? No, I remember the first girl I ever like really kind of dated a little. I was like 17, I think, and I started dating this girl, and her previous boyfriend was 32. And she was 15, right? And I was 17 or something. And she was about to turn 16. And her previous boyfriend was 32 years old. And I thought that was wild. I thought that was wild as shit. Like, how does that even work? Like, what the fuck? How did you meet? It's crazy.
Yeah, what are the circumstances in which you met and then that you decided to ask out a 15 or 16-year-old? That's fucking weird.
They're always annoying. If I'm ever, dude, if I ever go to a family gathering, which is very rarely, dude, the teenage girls are they're insufferable. Can't even be around them. They're so awful. They're just annoying, and they're young. They're stupid kids, like I was when I was a stupid kid. And I'm like, how does a 30-year-old man see a annoying girl that's like reciting memes and talking about boys and being ultra annoying? How do you see that and be like, man, I'd love to date her and be with her in a relationship? What the fuck? God, that's insane. A white guy named Tyrone says, I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. Sorry. I told my friend that you can't stop crazy people from killing because crazy people will find something else to use as a weapon, like a car knife. 100%. I agree with you. A white guy named Tyrone. Thank you. Storm Crow, talk to your local gun store guys. They know the agents that actually do the NICS background checks in Virginia. They're like 12 agents that cover the entire state. Thank you, Storm Crow. I appreciate that, my beautiful friend. You're delicious. Stupid.
Oh my God. Can I address something? Hey, sure. Glitter fart in the chat. Stop being retarded. What I said is Gary might be more likely to need protection than someone else. Not that he deserves it more than someone else. Not that someone else doesn't deserve it. It's just the fact that he pisses off people with a massive platform, which means, and he goes out to public events, which might mean it's more likely that someone would specifically target him, that he might need to defend himself more than someone who never leaves their house. But it doesn't mean that he deserves better access to the right and someone else deserves less. I'm pointing out the fact that Gary, who does not have his gun rights because of a crime that he committed that has nothing to do with guns, like 25 years ago, that he served all of his time for, he can't get a gun now, even though he probably needs it more than a bunch of people who have guns. But here's the reality of the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment has nothing to do with whether you need anything. You're conflating two things and being really fucking weird about this. The Second Amendment is not based on need. It's not self-defense. It's not hunting. It's not restriction against tyranny. The Second Amendment does not say, well, you need it because of this. The Second Amendment just says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The right is implied by your fucking birth. Nothing else. The only way you can lose it is if the state deems it necessary through due process to take it away from you, like any other right that you have. You're making a mountain out of a molehill for no reason because you're reading way too autistically into what I said, where I'm just making the point that Gary, who doesn't have his gun, might have more need for it than people who do. For example, me. Gary pisses off more people who have more power than I do. So I would suggest that Gary probably needs better access to guns than I have.
I agree.
I'm being deferential to Gary, not detrimental to anybody else. And if you're going to be weird about it, I can't stop you, but at least know what you're talking about, man.
Yeah, so it's basic math, right? So the whole point is Gary there is thousands of people with motive to target Gary, more than say the guy named Steve that lives down the street who has zero enemies, but he still has his rights. That's the whole point. Is Gary has there's a lot of there's motive for a lot of people to target Gary. Therefore, he probably needs to exercise that right more than the everyday person. So that it's just simple math, man. Stupid Netflix. Thank you, Stephanie. Patrick T says, watch The Untouchables. Pick from the tree. Thank you.
Untouchables is a good movie.
It is a great movie. Yeah, dude. Oh my God, this name. Badakov Care. Trinata de Bada pressure.
Oh, wait, no, I got it. True Nanashaba de bad. Wait, True Nanashaba de bad pressure, bad calf care. God damn, I haven't said your name in so long.
Damn, you knew this guy.
Not a guy.
Shocking. You have been so hilarious and so much fun as Nick's guest. I've been really enjoying the interviews you have been doing. Love that you're a Southerner too. Hell yeah. Glad I found you through Rackets. Thank you, Trying to Bahana, but under pressure, battle for Care. Appreciate you so much. I love you. Thank you so much. Closing in 360 away from Five Milk. Ronchers says, when I was in the Navy, there was a sailor that I would see dropping his girlfriend off at high school every morning. This was back in 2009. So that brings me to a good point. I remember I was talking to this girl yesterday, right? And she told me that she begged her boyfriend to go to her prom when she was 16. Okay. She was 16 years old and she begged her boyfriend to go to the prom. He was 25. And he went with her.
They let him in?
Yeah.
At our school, you could not, if your date was 20, even if you were 18, if your date was 21 or older, they would not let him in because they didn't want anybody bringing in alcohol.
Yeah, he was 25. Now this happened like in a southern state, right?
Right. And
dude, I just put myself in that situation. If for some odd reason I was 25 and dating like a 16-year-old, which just I find it makes my skin crawl to even have the hypothetical. But if she was like, go to my prom with me, I'd be like, bitch, I would never even go 10 miles within the school. I'm not taking you to school. I'm not dropping you off. If you say the word school in front of me, I'm likely gonna break up with you. Please don't mention school because that just reminds me that you're a baby. And why am I here? I can't believe that some bitch went in because I asked her. She was like, yeah, I begged him to go to the prom with me. And I was like, but did he go? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. Could you imagine being like a bald dude with a beard and you're dancing with your like fresh faced 16-year-old girl that has no idea where she is?
Dude, when I was 25 and I had graduated college, I could not imagine talking to a 16-year-old. Like I couldn't imagine talking to one for like the only times I've ever talked to 16-year-olds that I can remember are either their family, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm in a situation where I am speaking, like I'm teaching Sunday school, I'm teaching the Constitution at our homeschool co-op, I'm doing this. If I talk to anyone under about, I don't know, damn near 30 these days, I'm like, I can't understand your life. And I don't know that I want to anymore.
I can't tell you when the last time I talked to a human that was in that age range of like 7 years old to 20, I think. It's been that I haven't talked to a human in that age range in years. 7 to 20.
Yeah.
My maid, she has like a 6-year-old that she brings over that like she watches movies in my theater room while she's cleaning because she has to take care of her. And I'll talk to her sometimes. I'm like, hey, how you doing, girl? And I'll like, show her movies and stuff, or, like I'll let her play with my giant ass freaking dogs, which are way too big for her to be playing with, but she loves them. But yeah, like, but I can't imagine. I haven't even been in the same. I feel like I haven't even been in the same state as a 16-year-old girl in a long time. And I feel like it's annoying,
dude. When I'm out, like if I'm out talking to someone, I told this story on my channel. I was at a club and I buy people drinks. I buy And before anybody gets weird, I buy groups of men and women drinks. I buy everybody drinks. I use it to get to the front of the line, and I also just want people to have fun. And club drinks are fucking cheap. You can buy like a whole bunch of people drinks, and you're out $50. It's no big deal. So I went up to these two girls, and I said, "Hey, what are y'all drinking?" And the girl says, "We're 19." I said, "Peace." I walked the fuck away immediately. Like, nope, I don't even want to talk to you. I don't want to be anywhere near that. Like, peace, deuces, I'm gone. I don't, oh, Jesus Christ.
You know what? I think the catalyst for me. So, real quick, Stephanie says, he was my teacher. He was my camp counselor. He was standing outside my school. I wanted alcohol, so I stood outside of the liquor store. Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate you. So the catalyst, I think, for me was I was 18, maybe. I think I was 8. I had just turned 18. And there was this girl that was 16, and she knew me through like a friend or something. And, we were kind of talking a little bit, and we went to Walmart, and it was her and a friend and me. And I was like, keep in mind, I'm like, I'm by myself. And then they like run off and start running from me. And I'm like, where are you guys going? And they would go in between aisles, and they were giggling and just running from me. Like, and being like girls, and they were like running and giggling, and they wouldn't talk to me, and they were like running from me in Walmart. And I left. I just ended up leaving because I thought it was weird. And I think that was like the catalyst, because they were just being young, goofy girls. They were like together and bouncing off each other. So they were like, we're going to run from him and be weird and have fun. And I thought it was like gay as fuck. So I think that was the last time I ever talked to a girl that was lower than my age. Right. Because I was 18 when I met my ex-wife when I was 18. And then when I turned 19, she was 17. And we started dating. And she was way different. She was like super, like she was already in college. She almost had her first degree done when she was 17.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's one of those savants. So yeah, she was very different. She was not that girl. But yeah, it was just, I can't even fathom it now. Richard says, you guys are just mad that the highly desired women for the elite in Hollywood are in middle school.
God damn it.
Damn it, Richard, you son of a bitch.
Oh, I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Jazoo July says, got promoted today, full-time Publix deli worker. Woo! Take a drink from me since I don't drink alcohol. What the fuck? I won't drink alcohol. Zazu. Dude, so I've had a lot of people on my show, and they don't drink alcohol, and it blows my mind. Now, granted, look, I didn't drink until I was 27, but goddamn, I love it. And it's like, I love it casually. I don't drink but like once or twice a week, but I love doing it. Wolf Spain says, the only times I ever talk to a teen is in casual combo is at work, family, or friends of family. Other than that, I stay away from them like the plague. Wolf Spain. See, I don't have any family, right? So all my family is kind of gone now, except for my immediate family. And there's no teenagers involved in that. So it's been a long time. It's been a very, very long time since I've done anything. How does alcohol affect your recovery? What recovery? Like working out? Fuck, I don't know. Dude, every one of my friends that are jacked to the gills drink. Like, I'm pretty sure casually drinking's fine. Like, I drink like 1 White Claw or 2 White Claws on separate days of the week, right? So yesterday I had 3 White Claws, and then usually on Thursdays I'll have a couple, like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and then I don't have any more at all. Now, the reason I had it yesterday is because I have a race this weekend, so I won't be drinking until next week. But it's like a couple drinks. It's not, I don't get shit. I feel like people conflate the two. I feel like people think if you drink, like that means you drink 24/7, you know what I'm saying? And I have friends that do drink that much. They drink, I have a friend that drinks 10 shots a day of vodka. And I don't understand that. But I drink like 1 White Claw sometimes. This will be the only White Claw I drink today. Right. So, yeah. And it's like once or twice a week. So yeah, I don't know I don't think it really affects my working out. It might though. It might, but I feel like a lot of people conflate that if you say you drink, they think that means you drink 24/7. And that's not what I do. I drink like once or twice a week in very small amounts, except for that day I was in Vegas. I got fucked up. But other than that,
you got wrecked.
Yeah, dude, I threw up everywhere. James Spoon says, y'all need an older brother, 6 years older than you. You can get all the beer you want at 15. Just got to pay the brother tax. it makes you hate taxes early in life. Thank you so much, James. Yeah, so I had an older sister, and she like didn't talk to me at all. And I never wanted to drink, man. I just didn't. I didn't start drinking, like I said, till I was 27. I just never really
let's see. I drank when I was 15 in Paris. Only because we were in Paris and you could drink. So I was drinking bullshit, gin and tonics and Heineken. It was gross because I didn't know what to drink. I was just out with my friends, who I had never met because they were all like 3 grades higher than me. And we're just pounding liquor, in the middle of Paris, getting drunk. It was fun. So we did that. And then I didn't really drink until college. I drank a little bit because we were throwing parties with cheerleaders. So you got to drink if you've got cheerleaders at parties because they're drinking. So that was good. But I think I was 21 when I was actually drinking, because I mean, I'm pretty sure I was the one buying the liquor. And then I didn't drink a lot between like 25 and about 36. I didn't drink a lot. I drank in law school a little bit, and then I started drinking after graduating law school. That's when I got into whiskey. That's when I started drinking way more.
Hell yeah. Yeah. See, I just didn't at all. And I kind of love it. And I didn't really like it at first, but now I just really like casually drinking like small amounts. That's pretty much it. Like
I used to hate it.
Yeah, I did too. And like I would only drink because girls would come over and I'd drink with them. And that was pretty much it. That was my only drink of choice. Lust says, how hot is your sister? I haven't seen her. I've seen her once in the last 10 years, and I don't really think she's hot. I wouldn't consider her hot because she's my sister. Now, granted, look, I am in Alabama, but technically my parents are not from the South. So it's like it's one generation Southern, right? So first generation Southern. I don't think I've gotten to the maybe first cousins. Is that allowed in first generation Southern? I don't know.
No, it's actually allowed more in the Northeast.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Northeast allows first cousin marriage at an alarming rate, because they have those deep ties to England, right? And the monarchy was fully in support of cousin marrying and cousin fucking. And so what you find is it's weird that it's the older states and the more liberal states are more apt to allow first cousins to marry.
Yeah, isn't speaking of that, isn't some places in the Middle East, they have like a extremely high incest rate? It's like up in the upwards 30s, 40%.
Look, a lot of the Middle East deserves to be glass.
Dude, I've said this shit for years, and people always like never say that in public. And I'm like, I think we should just remove them. I think we should just control alt delete them bitches. I'm gonna be honest. Like, but what about the women and children? I don't give a fuck. All right. Look,
it'll be a mercy for them.
I specifically buy Fairlife milk, and I saw the videos of the workers kicking the baby cows. Now, do I like baby cows? Sure, but I don't
give a fuck about baby cows.
I'm saying, look, Nick, if a baby cow walked into my yard, I'd be, oh, look, a baby cow. But
I'd kick that shit and milk it.
I would eat him immediately. I would cut his ass cheeks right the hell off. Grindle says, knew a guy in high school who was feeling off because 29-year-old girlfriend hinting marriage and wasn't sure why. I told him it was because he hadn't graduated yet and she's almost 30. Break up now before she gets pregnant. Parents just AWOL. Your friend, your guy friend in high school was feeling off because his 29. Imagine dating a 29-year-old woman. I guess that seems kind of exotic when you're like 18, 17, right? Dating a woman.
I guess like lots of dudes in high school are banging teachers and stuff. They think that's great. And usually those teachers are suboptimal.
Oh, of course. Well, dude, I remember thinking back when I saw a woman that was like a 6.5 or a 7, she was like a fucking 20 when I was 16. Right? Because, I wasn't having sex with anybody when I was 16. So therefore, everything was sexy. It's like, think about it this way.
And there's something about the authority. Like, it's weird because I'm not into the authority shit at all, but there's something about like the teacher thing. And I think it's the usurpation, like from the guy's perspective, it's the usurpation of their authority.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, you're gonna fuck them rather than them having control over you, type
Yeah.
thing. And it's I think that's part of the
Yeah,
fantasy of it.
100%, yeah.
But yeah, I did not have like the hot teacher. When I look back at her, and Drex knows exactly who it is, we're like, why did anybody think she was hot? Like, she is not, like, she was nice, but she was not shapely.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you count like pear/bowling ball as a shape, she was not hot. She had an okay, kind of cute face, but dudes were like thirsting over her
Yeah.
all the time. It was weird as hell.
Yeah, there was a 21-year-old teacher at my school, 21, 22, and everybody said she was the hot teacher. But thinking back, she was just not fat. That was pretty much all of it.
That's the criteria.
Yeah, she's pretty much just not fat. And I think, like Spoon said, in its hormones. When I was 16, especially 15 even, I wasn't having sex. So it's kind of like a diet. Like, let's say you don't have any sugar, or you've only had chicken and rice every day for like a year.
Mhm.
Like, you know what? A shitty piece of pizza that's cold from like 2 days ago is like orgasmic. And I feel like that's the thought process, right? So you see like a chick that's totally like a 5, but you've been running dry for like 2 years. She's not a 5 no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Big Herc talked about that because he was in federal prison for 8 years and 8 months.
My God.
And he's like, look, man. Look, that's all he had to say. Look, man. It doesn't matter what they look like.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand that because they haven't had sex or been even around a woman. And I know for a fact, guys that are neckbeards and unattractive as shitballs. And I know they'll like tell me that they think this girl is hot that's over here and she looks atrocious. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, dude, she's so hot. And I'm like, that's because you are sexless. That's why you think she's hot. Because you think you're sexless as hell. Wolf Spain says, I forgot. I know some 18 and 20-year-old women from my friend group. It's a mix of a lot of different ages due to the gaming club, but I haven't seen them in once. I know some 18-year-old. Well, how old are you, Wolf Spain? What the hell? How you around all these young girls, Wolf Spain? Pretty interesting. Dude, so I wanted to talk about a little bit about what's going on with certain avenues in Disney. I tweeted yesterday, and I don't know if you've seen this, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, the subject matter. But of course, I don't know what the hell's going on, and I think it's just actors feel like they have to do this to, increase their opportunities. But almost every actor in Harry Potter's come out against J.K. Rowling because, she's apparently, her being like an actual feminist is disparaging against trans women. It's always about trans women, by the way. It's never about
trans, of course.
Always about trans women because they're men, right? So that's the whole point. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how all the rights and all the anger is coming from the trans women's side when it's literally it's like the final step of the patriarchy, in my opinion, right? Like the mythical patriarchy, the final step was men like assuming power again. And now we kicked, it's 4D chess, right? So Daniel Radcliffe came out and basically said he's for like surgery on minors for gender affirmation, right? And I tweeted yesterday this beautiful meme that took me a whole 8 seconds to make. I tweeted this. Let me find it. Let me get there. It is. It's so beautiful.
Yes.
So here it is. I tweeted this, and I was very, very proud of it. And there it is. Look at this. What do you think about this?
You're a groomer, Harry.
And it got like 2,000 likes or some shit, which is a lot for my dumb ass. But what do you think? What do you think about that? Like, what do you think about actors coming out and saying that they support like removing the genitals of a child?
I know their fucking agent tells them this is a good idea, and this is where you step in and say, no, this is not a good idea. It's never a good idea. Your best idea on this is to be silent. If you cannot just simply say, you know what, like maybe we should leave kids alone. That should be the number one position. Maybe we should just leave kids alone. But if you can't say that because your testicles haven't dropped or whatever, or your ovaries have dried, I don't know what the equivalent for women is. If you can't say, maybe we should just leave kids alone, then just don't say anything.
That's what I was about to say. Why not just not say anything? Right?
They gotta make a stand because they're being pushed. And if they what's being fed to these retarded idiots is that, well, you're associated with J.K. Rowling. If you don't say something, they'll assume you agree with her and it'll be bad for business. Here's a hint, guys. It's never going to be bad for your business to just not say anything on a political topic. It's not bad for your business to just avoid it. And it's certainly not bad for your business to say, you know what, this is a really complex topic, but you know what, I think kids need to be protected. And I think that's a key aspect we should keep in mind wherever this goes, is that we should protect kids, and society has a duty to protect children. And people can take that either way. It's a nice ambiguous way to do it, but while stating the obvious that kids, like, the government actually does have a duty to protect children a little bit. It's one of the few things that they do have. We don't give them autonomy. We don't give them the right to contract. We don't give them most of this stuff until they're 18. So as the exchange, we should be protecting them. And we are hell bent on throwing them into the damn meat grinder, on the fucking sacrificial altar of Moloch, chopping their damn genitals off, hoping that they kill themselves, doing all the nastiest shit to kids, mainly to break down families, to break down the parent-child relationship, and to make these little government pro-government automatons. And they are willing to sacrifice any number of kids to suicide, to depression, to everything else, to drugs, to prostitution, to make another government automaton. They'll let 5 kids die to get one on their side. They're disgusting people. I hate them.
Yeah, and it doesn't just start with children. It starts with directly attacking masculinity, which has been happening for a while now. Directly attacking femininity, which has been happening for a while now. Because what does masculinity do? Masculine men lead the world. Extremely feminine women heal the world. Correct?
So I saw that tweet of yours. That was a good tweet.
Yeah. And so masculine men, they lead the world. Feminine men, they heal the world. And what do they do that? How do they do that? By repairing the nuclear family structure. Because what is it that's destroying Western culture probably? I mean, what is it exactly? Look, I know it's black's a little, but other than that, that's a joke, everybody, by the way. Chill out. No, just a little bit. No, just a hair. No, what's destroying Western culture is the fact that destroying the family unit. If you look at every stat that exists, college graduates, crime, rape, murder, fist fighting your mama, all that shit, every statistic across the board is 80 to 90% higher if you are not just brought up in a normal family, father, mother, masculine, feminine role. That is pretty much, I mean, what is Ben Shapiro says that. And I don't really care for Ben Shapiro, especially his voice. It's weird. He's kind of little and creepy.
Come on, Kimmel. I talk at 500 miles an hour, and it's great because my wife doesn't know what a wet pussy is.
So that being said, he said it really great. The best way to be successful is don't have kids out of wedlock, and graduate from school. Don't have kids out of wedlock. Go to work. Like the father and the mother unit. And dude, I have friends that are stereotypically, people would think if they saw them on the side of the road, they would think certain stereotypes of them because they're people of color, right? Mm-hmm. But they grew up in a normal family unit, so they're super laid back, super normal, and they're relatively successful. And that's the issue. And now they've already completed that, right? So they've been beating down masculinity for 10 years. They've been beating down femininity for 30 years, right? Don't get married. Be a hoe. Just go to college. Go be a CEO of a company. Don't get married. Don't worry about men. They've been doing that for 30 years.
You don't even want to do that. Why would kids and a husband make you happy? They'll just keep you down, queen.
Exactly. They've been doing that for years. They succeeded at that shit a long time ago. But now the next move is to go after kids directly. Now it's like, well, we can get them in there on hormones at 7 years old. And now, not only are they, they're going to be bringing profit to the medical field, and big pharma for the rest of their fucking life. Also, they're going to be a slave to the government for the rest of their life. Right? So what do you, I was talking to someone about this 2-3 days ago. I was thinking, we were like, what happened? We were talking about, and I talked about this to them. it was a long discussion. I was like, what the hell happened? Right. And my mind went back. Now, look, I was just spitballing, but my mind kind of went to programs, including and similar to welfare. Right.
Yeah.
My mind kind of went to that place because you don't need a father when your child, their father is the government. They reward people for being single and having multiple children. I mean, I saw an interview with this lady, and she was a pretty intelligent lady. And they were like, why don't you just get a job instead of worrying about welfare? Because the interview took place there was a welfare line, and it was like delayed that day, and everybody was pissed. So they were interviewing people online. And this lady said, I would make less working full time by like 70% if I went and did that right now. Then she's like, so I have to stay on welfare. There is no other way. And being a slave to the government automatically, and of course, these kind of areas that are really heavy in welfare is like 90% of crime, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the whole issue is, what do you think? Do you think welfare is to blame for something like that?
Oh, hell yeah. Welfare was intentionally crafted to destroy the black family. Because it created a subservient class to a particular sphere of the government. And they love it. They love it. They love it. They love it. It's been so fucking effective. Prior to the welfare state existing, black families were actually more successful than white families. They had a higher adherence to the nuclear family unit. They had a lower rate of divorce, and all of that got just destroyed by welfare because exactly what you said. What we'll do is we will disincentivize black women from working. We will disincentivize black men from remaining in the home, because if the black man remains in the home, then his income goes towards the woman and she's not qualifying for the same level of benefit and stuff like that. And that gets black men out on the street. That gets black men away from responsibilities. And what do? They never grow up. They remain children. They start, they sell drugs. They get in fights. This is the story of every fucking terrible inner city neighborhood over and over and over again. And they targeted the black family. And they did it because, let's face it, these people have been fucking racist forever. This isn't new and shouldn't be news to anyone. That's what they did. And it's how they accomplished this goal. And once they did it, they created that slavery class that will, for some reason, support them forever, even though it's the cause of all of this shit.
Yeah, it's wild. And it brings us to a great point. What do you think? So I always thought this was weird because I saw this kid. It was like a tweet, and he was shooting a video, and the kid looks like he's 14, right? It's a white kid, and he's being just shitting all over the GOP, conservatives, Trump, all that, right? He's just being that. He's a TikToker that's famous, right? He's like he's quite literally a kid.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, it's so strange that 6 years ago, what is it? Just 2023, 7 years ago, right? The same people that were saying we need to stop electing rich, old, white men now overwhelmingly support a rich, one of the oldest white men that was also a segregationist. And now these same people that were saying that shit 7 years ago are violently supporting that. How the fuck does that happen?
Because rich old white men applied when Obama was running and Hillary was running.
Yep.
They said, oh, it's their turn. But once a rich old white man runs, you realize that it was never about rich old white men. It was always just about voting Democrat.
Yeah.
That's all it's ever been.
That makes a lot of sense. It's so frustrating when I see that shit too. Vinny the D says, we called it deployment numbers in the Army. A state side 3 was a deployment 7. And boy, those D7s could get it. What the hell does that mean?
It's because so when you're over in the desert, right? Those desert bunnies are 3s when you're back at home, but there aren't many of them. So when you're over in the desert, they become a 7. He's like, and boy, could they get it because you're thirsty as fuck.
It's the girl. It's the Nashville police officer lady.
Exactly.
Same thing. She's like a 5, and they ran through her. Why? Because they're all in relationships and they're not really hooking up with girls lately. So they see that 5, and now she's an 8, right? That's all it takes. Wolf Spain says, I'm 28, back in college for certificate. I know people from the old gaming club, but school basically disbanded it through attrition. drama effed it up. Oh, well, you're in school. That makes a lot of damn sense is why you would, sing your younger people. Kim Who says, it's crazy to me to see women talking about how bad the patriarchy is, and then men turn into women so these women can fight for them again. It is, that's actually pretty jarring, Kim. It's one of the most jarring things to see nowadays is the fact that women, and I shouldn't say all, I'm not going to say all women, but women generally, especially on social media, overwhelmingly support mental illness. They support, dude, I see women every day defending a 6'8" dude going into a contact sport to kill women. I see women defending that shit all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, they can't give you a good reason why they defend it. They just say you're a bigot. But still, I see them defending that shit all the time. And it is wild. It is wild as hell. And I'll never understand that shit. Backgoat, I love you. Fire PA says, in grad school, professors bragged about increasing access to food stamps and Medicaid. Shouldn't the goal be to have less people dependent on welfare? Oh, yeah. Yep. That would be the goal. But the unfortunate truth, Fire PA, is that when you give those things to people, they have less of an incentive to get a job. Now, are there people that exist out there? I have a friend, right? And she has fallen on hard times. Her husband dipped out. She knows nothing about the law. She's trying to get a lawyer, trying to, go through divorce. She has her kid. Her husband sold their house out from under her. Like, it's just wild. It's been a wild ass trip for her. And now she's like living in a hotel and she has $0. A person like that maybe needs a little bit of help here and there, right? But a person that's sitting on welfare for 10 years, they have no incentive to get off of it at all, right? Just like that lady said in the interview. She's like, I would make less if I got off of it. So
there is no if they want to create a system to get people off of welfare, what they have to do is stagger the benefit basically to allow a transitional benefit amount. Like, the benefit stays up to some amount, but reduces as you earn income. But even that is disincentive, because why would you work to earn the same amount that you've already got? So the other option is to put it on a timer. Look, you're going to get to 2 years and you're going to run out, like they do with unemployment, right? Like, you're going to run out of welfare. You're going to have to build it back up by working, something like that. We desperately need welfare reform in the country, but
that's probably the best avenue. Is just put an expiration date on it, right? And then whilst you are reaping the benefits, you can start saving and start looking at avenues of success after you get out of it. The issue is there is no expiration point on it, right?
Yep.
It's not to get you from point A to point B. It's to make you a slave to the system. That's why it's developed. That's why it exists, right? It's funny because you'll see women that are bragging on TikTok that they're on food stamps and shit, and they are wearing like an $800 jacket and like a $200 pair of pants, and they have jewelry all over their arms, and they're driving like a brand new car, and they're bragging that it's like, I have all this and I'm still on food stamps. It's freaking wild.
Yep.
It's wild. Stormcrow said, my first deployment on my ship, I saw a 5 turn into a 6, then a 7, then an 8. And the ugliest of these female dogs always got some. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Patrick T says, women support anything that gives them an advantage. Unfortunately, that's based on emotion, although they will compromise for cash. Yeah. Well, of course, they vote more leaning towards emotion, which I don't really like, but that's just how it is, man. Now, if you look at, what do you think about this, Nick? Because I asked Gothics this, because it's statistically improbable, right? How is it that 57% of men vote conservative, depending on the year? 48% to 53% of women that are white, given the year, vote conservative liberal, and then Latinos have gotten closer now. Latinos are like 60-40 now.
Yep.
60-40, 65-35.
Trump made Latinos very happy. Wonderful Latino numbers.
But you look at black men. Black men are in the high 70s, which is pretty high, right? They're still voting overwhelmingly Democrat. What is it? It seems statistically improbable that black women are like 99% still. How is that possible?
Because they are raised in a scenario where they know where the bread comes from, man. Like they are, if you if you're in the black community, and it's a good person to talk to about this is Drex, because he's seen it firsthand. But if you're in the black community and you go against the narrative, everyone shames you. Literally everyone.
That's what Gothic said. Yep.
All of the aunties, all of the sisters, all of the cousins or whatever. If a black woman leaves a plantation, they're on her ass before anybody else. What are you doing? How can you do that? You're a traitor. You're trying to take away our stuff. You're not even just fucking up with you. You're trying to make my kids not go to school. You're trying to make my kids miserable. It's the indoctrination is so damn complete on it that the shaming happens immediately.
Yeah, that's exactly what Gothic said. She said that people, they're so worried about what other people think and what other people think about them. So that's where terms like Tom and stuff come into play. But yeah, dude, it's wild as hell. Speaking of wild as hell, this is a very, very unrelated segue. Did you see Anna Kasparian? I can't say her name.
Yeah.
Did you see how she's suddenly like saying that what is it, birth givers or some bullshit? Birthers? Is that what the name, like the they want to call women birthers?
Yeah, birthing people or something.
Yeah, birthing people. And she's like, I will absolutely never use the term birthing people. You guys are insane. And I retweeted that and I was like, you're finally waking up. You're starting to understand. Even people over there are starting to be like, what the fuck is happening, bro? Jesus. You can no longer occupy the I just want to be a left alone space anymore. Right?
Yeah. No, and the other thing that she's getting heat over is her homeowners association wants to install some Tesla charging stations, but the government doesn't help with it. So her homeowners association is taking out a giant fucking loan to build this charging station because everybody is going to have electric cars because she's in California, right, and she's going to have to pay for it, right? Yeah. And she's like, wait, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But they're forced to, like, I want to help the environment, but I don't want to do this. Why is it always us that has to bear the cost? It's like, you dumb bitch. What did you think we've been saying for years? Of course this is what happens.
Because you voted for it. Yeah.
Yep. You wanted this.
It's literally Joker. It's the scene in Joker where it's like, you get what you deserve. Dude, it's crazy. It's the same shit. I saw a really, really funny video where there's this English guy, and it's like in the UK, right? And they're marching in support of refugees, right? And this guy's like, hey, I have a notepad or whatever. It was like a whatever, sign this petition, correct? And it was like, hey, do you want to sign to adopt a refugee into your home? Right? So they're walking up to people in UK, like white people that are protesting in favor. Welcome, please come in. We welcome you, refugees. They're like, hey, you can adopt a refugee. Sign this. And there was like 200 people in the video. Every person's like, I don't have space in my home. No. It's like, bitch, you don't want to actually shoulder the burden of what you are in favor of, but you'll just blindly say you're in favor of it. Why? So you can get social clout from your peers. That's what it's all about. It has nothing to do with actually helping people. It's never been about that, right? It's like, It's like when celebrities say, we need to help these people. We need to help the homeless. We need to do all these things. But they're the first people that show up to the freaking vote for like a zoning law in LA. So there's no affordable housing, and they will shout it down from the rooftops because they're afraid that their homes will start losing value. They don't want that. Yep. That's the whole point. They'll say they're for something all day, but they do not actually believe it. Shigin says, Rekieta tagged you on Twitter to show court documents that a juror in the Perry case took the overnight break to research the case, then came back, and old juror Perry had the burden to prove innocence. Oh, I want to talk about that because I've been watching it unfold on Twitter a little bit. Thank you, by the way, for your gold boy Genshin. Alan says, I always lie Rekieta law for his mind until tonight. Now I think he's hot in that shirt. Nice shoulders, damn.
Yo, hey, what's up, Alan?
Oh my
Let me give you my number, brother.
Oh my God. Patrick T says, I'm for freedom, but the rebel flag is disgusting to me. It represents what Democrats do on the regular beyond the history, but they are trying to delete it. I think Democrats should own the flag they bought. I have no opinion on the rebel flag. I mean, I grew up in a place where the rebel flag is like on every kid's wall, and I've never really understood the obsession with it. I think it's kind of gay. Look, I don't think people should not be allowed to do whatever they want to do, but I think it's real gay when a dude has a rebel flag on his truck and he's like burning out and like driving around and being like, woo, that's super. It's not because it's the rebel flag. It's because God, it's super gay. And you look like you love it. I don't know what it is.
I mean, the whole thing with the rebel flag is that it's by trying to consistently ban it, you've made it cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you've made it the symbol of rebellion that it was, except for a modern era and a modern audience with completely different connotation and meaning. But what they want is to conflate the modern connotation and meaning, which is, this is my expression of Southern identity. This is my expression of personal rebellion against government, to be, this is my expression of this is your expression of anti-blackness. It's like, that's I would wager a bunch of people using the rebel flag now have no particular animus towards black people. Now they might, or they might not, just like any other demographic of the population. I really don't think that the rebel flag has anything to do with slavery today.
I agree.
But every time they fucking spurg out about it, it makes me want to buy one. And I don't give a shit at all. But it's like, well, if they're going to freak out about it, maybe I should fly one just to piss them off a little bit more. A little bit more.
Yeah,
and,
it's very strange. Like the fact that if you took a group of dudes like flying the rebel flag, is it possible that a slightly higher concentration of them might be racist? Maybe. But
maybe.
The fact that every single person that spurgs out over the rebel flag claims that the person flying it is like just racist as shit seems really stupid, because usually they're just kind of dumb redneck guys and they claim it's their heritage. And they're like, well, it's my daddy flew it and I fly it. And that's pretty much the end of it right there. It's not like, I've seen black dudes freaking flying that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they're from the South, they're from Tennessee, and they're like, woo, and they're flying it, So, I've always thought, it was kind of cringe when like some dude in his truck is freaking revving up. And that's not for rebel flag reasons. I think it's just because all of the whole package that I'm seeing when he's doing it. Jay says, Anna Kasparian is just trying to make out there's still a space in Democratic Party for Democrats that are not insane. They did this 4 years ago as well. Jay, thank you, by the way. Yeah, you could be right. I don't think that's going to work, because it doesn't work like it does for conservatives, right? So you can be conservative, you can be far right, you can be lean right, you can be, and everybody kind of can talk about it. I've talked to people that are extremely right. I've talked to people that are center. We can disagree or agree. We have a good discussion. I say this in all seriousness. When I get people that ask me all the time, like 3 to 4 to 5 people a show, why do you not bring on liberals? And I don't really talk about politics much, other than the gun control thing, because it's pertinent. But I don't like people that may identify as on the left. They're like, why don't you bring on those people? And I'm like, because they won't come on.
Right.
Like, and that's the issue, is people on that might find themselves on the right or center. They'll talk about shit. They enjoy it. They enjoy talking, usually, in general. There's crazy people on both sides, but there is not many people that find themselves on the left that will ever talk to you about anything, ever.
Yep.
Weird. There's a higher concentration. I feel like 95% of them do not want to talk to you.
I can occasionally talk to someone on the left, and I'm happy to do it, man.
Yeah.
It's it's not a thing for me, but shit, they're like, no, you're an evil person. I'm like, for what? And they're like, you hate this. I don't hate anybody at all. And they're like, no, you hate this group of people. You must. You hate trannies. Like, I don't hate trans people at all. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I just don't want kids to be indoctrinated into this shit, because I don't want kids to be indoctrinated into damn near anything.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, 100%. And that's the thing, is I've never looked at somebody that, like, okay, so for example, I was talking to Gothics Monday, and a lot of her points in her, like, she went back, a lot of the things that she talked about always went back to Christianity, which is fine. Now, keep in mind, I'm not religious at all. I'm the furthest thing from it. So we kind of talked about both sides of the spectrum there. And I didn't say to her, oh, well, you're religious. Well, you hate gay people, right? You want them dead. You want to kill them, right? You must hate gay people, right? Because you're religious. You must hate them. Yeah. I didn't say that shit because I know that she does it. And I feel like that's an extreme view. But people that occupy the left, especially on Twitter, that's what they go to. You could be like, you can say something disparaging against the president, and they immediately are like, you love Trump and you are racist. And I'm like, well, I don't really care for Trump. And they're like, well, you must. And I'm like, I'm not racist. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, well, you must be, because you're being disparaging against the left, which means you have to occupy the right, because that's how that works in their brain. It doesn't work like that in my brain. And I would gladly have somebody on that occupies that spectrum. It's just they won't come on for some reason.
Of course.
I don't understand that. I don't understand why. They just won't.
People are afraid of talking to people they disagree with these days.
Yeah.
Because and it's because of what we were saying, though. Hold on one second. I sneeze. We'll weather it out. It's not like I killed the sneeze too early. No, it's the guilt by association shit, right?
Yes.
They think, well, if they go on your show, then everybody's gonna think that they're suddenly conservative or whatever, which is fucking nonsense.
Yeah. So I was talking to Shani about this, and she was like, hey, you should get this person. And then she followed it up with, well, they might not want to come on because they have sponsors and they don't occupy that space. And I was pissed at first because other stupid stuff, because I'm a dumbass, but it makes sense, because guilty by association. They might be like, oh, well, he's had a conservative on before, therefore you like that guy and he's evil. Yep. And people that occupy the left are still afraid of getting canceled. I don't feel like many people on the right give a fuck anymore, right? Because they're already just them existing on the right is already means they're canceled anyway.
Yep.
Right.
And the fucking liquor, dude. I gotta take a piss again. I'll be right back.
Good show yesterday. Nick tell him a lot about Big Herc's cuck story with the wife that didn't speak English. Oh my God. I want to keep that up there so I can remind it. Hey, somebody tell me to remind me in the chat for that, because I want to ask him. Senico, the rebel flag was originally used by Black Division on the Confederate side. The more you know, wasn't it it's like a Mississippi battle flag or something? Thank you so much, Senico. I'm glad you're back, baby. Hope you're doing well. I am a little under the weather, guys, so I'm trying to weather that. No pun intended. Miss Stress says it's because Dukes of Hazzard was a lot of people's favorite damn show. That could be true as well, Miss Stress. You're right. Because the General Lee, baby. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Miss Stress. Thank you. We, guys, are 160 from Fight Milk. Now, we are closing in on the end. We're a few minutes from the end, maybe. But we are close. We're almost there. Noah Sanders, fuck. Sorry. The fact leftists won't come on is the same problem Tim Pool has. Love having Nick on stream. Nick, we need to know when the Rekieta Law versus Attorney Tom boxing match is. Is there supposed to be a boxing match? We'll see. I'll ask him about it. Thank you so much, Noah Sanders. I love you and I appreciate you. Let's go down here to Jesus de Vila. Thank you, my friend. I love you. As a moderate, I've also banned GP who was weird as MTG. What's that? Magic the Gathering? Is that what it was? Every other second. Yeah. Look, so this is how I see this, Michael. If somebody loves Trump like over the top, I don't care. Right? So I've met people that do. Like, I live in Alabama, right? Now, granted, I don't really talk politics to anybody in real life. That being said, I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. Now, people that love Biden, I find that weird. Now, granted, I find both weird. I don't understand how anybody could like, but the dude's literally like an elderly senile man that can barely fucking walk. I don't understand how that's a thing. That being said, I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I don't get angry at people over it. Unless they get angry at me and they're like, oh, fuck you. Like, that's weird. And still, I don't get angry. I'm like, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't edit my super chat. Please just read. What are you talking about? Edit. Dude, you do realize I can barely read. I don't think you realize this. Hold on. Do you talk about the rebel flag one? Where you said, hold on, I got to go to my other monitor. Fuck. You said, fuck, Patrick. Damn it, Patrick. Let me just minimize my windows, you bastard. I'm for freedom, but the rebel flag is disgusting to me. It represents what Democrats do on the regular, beyond the history, but they're trying to delete it. I think Democrats should own that flag. They bought it. Are you saying that, the fact that the Democrat Party was originally the slave party, is that what you're saying? That I'm not. People are always like, they switched parties, bro. Yeah, I feel like that's how I read it. But at any rate, Yeah, I don't like to get too desperately into the left versus right thing. I think it's kind of silly. I just like to talk points. You know what I'm saying? There's only a couple things that I really care about, and that's gun shit. I like because I like guns, and a number of other things. Alan Anderson says, "Is it possible for Camelot to be more cute?" Thank you. I love you, Alan. Manix T says, "You talk to exchange information. They talk to establish themselves as an authority to dictate their values. Left versus right instructions." Yeah. So the issue is, like Gothic says, they treat it as their religion, right? So people that generally occupy the left, they treat what they believe as religion. Therefore, if you disagree, you are attacking them violently. And that's when you see it from that perspective, they're attacking me violently. They get more angry and violent about it back because they feel like they're being attacked, like literally, like physically, right? That's what Gothics was kind of talking about the other day. The left out of the KKK, but tries to say there was a switch throughout the years, and it wasn't. The left preys on the weak-minded for the poor, my ass. Oh, I agree. Well, it's the what is that age-old adage, right? The conservatives will tell you to fuck off, and then liberals will tell you to fuck off, but with hashtag BLM, hashtag LGBTQ. Neanderthal 2020 with a giant pulsating pink boy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you getting us exactly 98 from Fight Milk. Thank you, Neanderthal. I love you and I appreciate you. Go to this shit. Minor Zircon, the rebel flag was flown against the Nazis. Thank you, Minor Zircon. I appreciate you. Oh my God. Yeah. You cannot rationalize. Yeah. You cannot rationalize. Cal, I agree. I 100% agree with you. You can't rationalize it. There's no way around it. We are 30 likes away from the goal. Hell yeah. Nick, so somebody asked, they said, tell the story about Herc with the cuck, that lady that didn't speak English.
Oh my God. So he's talking about, someone asked him to tell a funny cuck story.
Yeah.
So he says he's with this Latino couple.
Yeah.
And the dude is a big bowling ball of a man. Right. And he's like, hey, man, will you blow out my wife? So Herc's going to town. Herc is smashing this chick, and she is speaking, but she doesn't speak any English. So he's railing her, and the husband is translating what she is saying to Big Herc while he's smashing.
Oh my God, what is she saying?
So he didn't say, but you can just imagine, right? Like she's like, oh, Dios mío, Dios mío. He's like, my God. That's what she's saying, man. Like, can you just fucking imagine? Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. I kind of want to experience this. Speaking of experience this, Patrick T with a $100 super chat says, just work harder on Marie Antoinette. Let them eat cake, Patrick. I appreciate you. Get the hell out.
She didn't say that, damn it. It was Charlotte Bront who said, let them eat brioche. Marie Antoinette never said it.
Why do they always say it's her then?
It's a misattribution, man, every time.
So it's like the fact that it's not Berenstain Bears, it's Berenstein Bears.
Yeah, like it's the Morpheus effect. Mandela effect.
Morpheus effect.
That one too.
Take the blue pill. Oh, did you see? Oh my God. Did you see fucking the Dalai Lama? Did you see that video?
Yes. Dude's fucking gross.
My God.
Sledgehammer that motherfucker.
Sledgehammer. Wow. Yeah. Dude, wall. Oh my God. Why is it? Dude, why is everybody? Oh man, I shouldn't say this, but God, why is it always like extremely like over the top? Like people that occupy some sort of religion are always into children, man. What the fuck is this about?
Dude, it's fucking insane.
Like what is it? There was a movie based on this, but there was like 1,000. There was like 1,000 Catholic priests in Boston who were arrested because they were molesting children. Like, that's such a large number. How is this happening? Where's the correlation?
Anytime you establish a place where a person cannot be questioned or challenged, you open it up for the abuse of children. It's why, like, The amount of school teachers that are involved in molesting or outright raping children is astronomical. You see it in any organization where there are people who become, the executive level. They get into it. Hollywood. If you cannot question these people, if you're not allowed to ask the questions, then this shit will happen. It happens in all religions, absolutely all of them. It happens in all major institutions. It happens where anyone can aggregate power, and it's horrifying. I mean, just think about how we talk about teachers. Have you seen this shit? Like we act like school teachers are Jesus Christ returned every single day, and then we wonder why like these teachers do this shit, and the people are like, why would they do this? Like, well, because you elevate them beyond what they are. It's just a person working a job. Now, sure, there are good teachers out there who go well beyond the job, but the average teacher is just average, like in any other fucking job. They're not special. They're not. It's not something that is like, oh God, the altruism of this person merits all of our attention. No, it's just a teacher doing a job. And
it was like nurses in 2020.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're just working a 9 to 5. In some cases, these nurses are working 9 to 9s or 12 to 12s or whatever, but they're just working a job. And when you get a good one, everybody remembers they're good nurses and they're good teachers, and everybody forgets all the fucking rest of them, which are average. And that is the overwhelming majority of them.
Hot diggity damn. Marsupial Gamer says something that I couldn't believe until I looked it up, and I still don't believe it. It says, just announced the quartering. Jeremy is fighting Review Tech USA Rich on August 1st. No venue. And I went to his Twitter, and it says, fight between me and Rich is confirmed for August 1st. August 1st. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? For one, how's Jeremy going to get there if he has like travel anxiety? How the fuck is he going to get there? He going to walk?
Well, how would you fight with travel anxiety? Like, let's say he's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get there. He'll drive or fly, take some Xanax. I don't care. Whatever he does, he gets there. But if you have anxiety about travel and then you're expected to fight someone, like you are putting yourself into danger, in my opinion. I just can't. I can't imagine that shit.
Dude, I want to fight somebody. They never asked my ass to do nothing. I even like messaged these guys. I messaged Cuck ass. What's his name? iDubbbz. iCucks. He should be. It's iCucks now. iCucks. I messaged him, and then I messaged freaking the dude with the beard, Keemstar. Oh, am I not sexy enough? Am I not bringing in enough people to watch my streams to allow me to punch some faces? Goddamn, y'all.
I support your candidacy for the next fighter.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Finally, someone believes my ass. And I'd probably get my ass kicked, but I do want to try. Jay's gaping butthole says, Camelot's a bad man. He made me this way. Buy a book so I can get surgery. Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend. Jay's gaping butthole. Samantha Palmer says it's not natural for a man to be celibate their whole life. No, I got to dump loads. Why is it when men get celibate, though, they see children and they want to dump loads? That's the scary thing.
Weird.
No.
So fucking weird.
Speaking of that, we have hit the milk. We're at the end of the stream here. Literally hit the milk by $1. Isn't that some shit?
Oh my God.
Are you down to new milk today or no?
I got to go grab the eggs.
Good. All right.
But and some milk. Yeah. But yeah, I'm in.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the beautiful Alex Jones song, and I'm going to go get my milk as well.
Hell yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. We're going to go get milk, and then we're going to do some fight milk, y'all. 2 seconds. Lock the damn stream, bitches.
System, the company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. There are bunch of Christian murderers, scum. There are giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
Amazing.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Isn't that the best shit in the world? I like hurried back just so I could hear half the song. God, I love it. It's so fucking, it's so good. Hobbling vampire goblins, man. Gosh, what a great thing. What a great thing. All right, boys. So we're going to do Naked Snake. We're going to do Fight Milk. We get to get hell off here. We're going to see how many people leave during Naked Snake. 2 grown men taking their shirts off. It's a great part of the stream. I got to thank my boy Nick for being goated. He's been goated today.
My bad.
Dude, I made it back. It was fine. I got to hear half the goddamn song. Just love that. I love that song more than anything. God, it's so freaking good.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
I'm angry.
Yeah. Vampire pot belly goblins hobbling around coming after us. God, I love it.
Yeah. Sorry it took me so long. Lady Raggeds is trying to, we got the Philly trip coming up.
Ooh.
And she's trying to pack, and she is she doesn't know what to pack for Philly, like what style of clothes to wear.
Yeah.
Right? Because Vegas, you just dress as flashy as you fucking can.
Yeah.
But Philly isn't Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, she's like, what the hell do I wear? I'm like, I don't know.
A moo-moo, it's fine. Don't worry. Just wear whatever you want.
Beats the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So she's trying on these different outfits. She was looking for my opinion.
All right. So we're gonna do Naked Snake, then we're gonna do Fight Milk, and we're getting the hell out of here. We're gonna raid Chrissy Mare's 600th stream after this. So
I'm gonna pop into that stream.
Yeah, she didn't invite my ass. She actually canceled on my ass to do that stream. That bitch. No. Where's my vodka? Where's my vodka? Oh. Watermelon vodka for the gullet today.
That is so gross, dude.
It's the stuff I found in the wine cellar where the old people kept the fucking alcohol.
Watermelon vodka in this is the worst thing I can imagine.
It smells great though, but it doesn't even smell like alcohol. It tastes like it though.
Yeah.
That's probably the whole thing is it smells like good, but it tastes like ball ass. Straight up ball ass. 150 likes away from the like goal, boys. The stretch like goal. We already hit 1,000. 1,200 is the stretch goal. Thanks to my boy Nick for showing up last minute. I appreciate you. Let's get this bullshit going, son. It's time for the Naked Snake. Oh my God.
Gotta turn this down a bit. We don't get the echo.
Here we go, boys. Make sure you like this goofy ass stream, boys. Make sure you like it.
Every time I do this, it's great and terrible.
At the same time. And it appears on clip channels every single time, too.
Every time.
They repost it over and over.
What a thrill with darkness and silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'm melting.
Here we go, boys.
What a feeling. so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you.
Snake eater in my eye. There be nobody else.
Nobody else.
Oh yeah. Crime. It's the way I fly to you.
One day I'll learn this song.
I'm still in a dream. Snake eater. Oh my God. Look how hairy my chest is.
I thought you shaved and waxed that shit.
I've been real lazy lately.
Squeeze it.
Oh yeah. It's the final stretch, boys. We're 100 locks away. Get the hell on it. Diggity doggone it. Oh my God. I give my life. Not for honor, but for you.
Oh, Adriana have very light chest hair. It's there, just not much. And it's behind the mic.
Yeah. That's more me. Ooh. Crime. It's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream. Snake eater. Amazing. We did it again, boys. Got to the snake.
Ooh, my God.
Hell yeah. Thank you, chat. We love you. We appreciate you. Final booby flex.
God damn it.
Hell yeah.
Every time I see it, I hate it more and more.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. Thank you. Only 100 people left. That's pretty good. Because we almost had 2,000 people. It's pretty good. 80 locks, 70 locks away. It's time for Fight Milk. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you stick around because we are rating Chrissy Maris 600th stream today.
Damn.
I think it said 600th. Yeah.
Yep.
That's insane. And I say that's insane, but then I look back how many I've had, and it's over like 1,000. And I'm like, oh shit. I don't
look at the numbers anymore, dude.
I don't remember streaming that many times. But apparently I have. Neanderthal with the orange boy for the he paid me to take my shirt off. Look at this, man. I appreciate that, dude.
Hell yeah.
Of course, Batgoat, Ashley, and Lord Nargrowucky, Jaina, and Steph as well. Dixon as well. Thank you. I'm glad, you know what? I'm glad some of you guys in this new format that are always dropping the Blue Boys during Naked Snake back in the day are still dropping Blue Boys during Naked Snake in the new format with talking, having a talking show. So I'm from a trailer park. I can't articulate myself very well, but yeah, having a talking show, it's time for some milk. Let's pour this bad boy in. Hey, Carlos, you bitch. Here we go.
I got mine pre-mixed because my eggs are upstairs. So
yeah.
my milk.
I just bring all of it for some reason, and then I leave it in my room for like 2 hours and forget about it. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta put that in the fridge. Come on, Eggy.
Oh, just smells like vodka, baby.
Boop. Nice. All right, boys. And we got the milk here. Where's my milk at? Where the hell's my milk? My shirt was covering my milk. All right. Blazing Gamer says, man, I'm glad I still had my welding hood at the ready. Otherwise, I'd have been blinded by the bleach white. What's up, y'all? Thank you, Blazing Gamer.
What's up, Blazing Gamer?
Here we go. Milkies. And then it's time for the last ingredient, the watermelon vodka. Here we go. Oh, shit. Damn, I just slapped the hell out of my mic. All right. Here it is. It just smells like watermelon, but it tastes like vodka. There's a little weird bubble. Did I break an egg or something? All right, here we go. It's time, boys. Thank you so much, Blazing Gamer. Oh, dude, these orange boys are going ham. Joining the orange boy train today. I appreciate you guys. Love you. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, somebody said Attorney Tom boxing match. Noah Sanders.
Oh, I'm supposed to box Attorney Tom?
See, I didn't know that either.
They have height classes, you know. He only comes up to my knees, man.
Oh, damn. Thank you. I appreciate you, Noah Sanders. It's time, boys. And then we're going to log off this goofy stream. Stick around for Chrissy Mare's raid because we're going to go hard. Give her some love when we go in there. That's what she said. Here we go. It's time, boys. It's time for Fight Milk today. Get on it. Doggone it. Excited. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You ready, Nick?
Never. I even know it's not that bad, and I'm still never ready for it.
Yeah, I asked Gothix if she wanted to do it, and she's like, yeah, I would throw up immediately. There's no way in hell I can do that. And I was like, oh, that's good. It's fine. I would never make anybody do it. Some people just do it, though.
Your brain tells you should be throwing up, but then you're like, I don't really need to, though.
Yeah. Here we go, boys. 30 likes away from 1,200. Push that like button, you big old bitches. It is time for 5 mil CAMELCAST 25 with Mr. Nick Rekieta, the GOAT himself.
Yeah, brother.
Appreciate you, dude. Here we go. The demon killer music is here. Let's do this bullshit for the 500th time. Get on it. Doggone it.
Woo!
Oh,
Disgusting.
woo, damn. Oh, God. Ooh. You did way better that time.
Yeah, I'm getting it down, man.
Better. There you go. Oh, my gosh, boys. That was gross as shit. Hey, we hit the 1,200 likes. Look at that.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you guys. That's the most likes we had on a stream in about 3 weeks. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Nick, for coming on and giving us and changing my mind about background checks. I appreciate
Dude, it
it.
is always a fucking pleasure. I love fucking CAMELCAST. You have no idea.
I appreciate it. Oh, wait. Nicholas Cruz are coming in. Screenshot the white drip from Nick's face, please.
Oh, damn it.
It's going to be on TV, man.
Someone, Vanessa in chat said, missed seeing the hot tub streams. Well, guess what I spent a good portion of today doing, Vanessa? The hot tub should be prepped and ready to go. After Chrissy Mayer's stream, I'm going to grab a cigar. I'm going to throw on a swimsuit, and I'm going to be in that damn hot tub on Locals. So if you want to partake in the Nick Rekieta hot tub streams, they're coming back. My my water hose finally thawed out, and I could fucking top it off. So here we go.
So I know you've never been to my house. I do hope you come to my house one day. Maybe when you come to Nashville or something, because it's only an hour away. But I have a sunroom, and I don't go in there for any reason. It's basically the room that leads to my pool.
Right.
And I thought of a great idea: get a hot tub in my sunroom.
Hell yes.
And then just open all the windows because it's a sunroom, so the walls are just windows. They're like sliding glass doors. Just fucking open all them bitches and just fucking turn on and get in the damn hot tub.
Dude, the hot tub is one of the greatest purchases I have made.
What should I expect? 5 years. What should I expect to spend on one?
Depending on the size, about 10 to 15 large, all told, because you got to get some electrical work done usually. Mm-hmm. You got to buy the thing, and you got to get there's something else you like, delivery and installation shit, because you don't want to fucking install that yourself, and you don't want to use one or whatever. So it's like 10 to 15, but it depends on how big of a tub you're getting.
Okay. I need to think of it, because I've been meaning to get one for a while, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So that's not bad though. Shit. That's like the winnings from 6 races.
It's worth every penny.
Hell yeah. Every penny. Hell yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining today. Is a huge ass show. Most people we've had in the show in a long time. I appreciate you, Nick, as per usual, for coming on. We're going to raid Chrissy Mayer. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I love you. Oh, hold on real quick before we get off. Sonia says, Ayo, Cody, can I get a birthday shout out, please? Happy birthday, you beautiful creature, Sonia. I love you. Thank you for being here for years for me. Even through all the goofy drama, and all the goofy changing of content and all the cancellations I went through, Sonia has been here the whole time. Tried and true. I love you and I appreciate you. Happy damn birthday. I hope it's a good one. Get the hell on it, doggone it. I'll see you guys later. Make sure you subscribe to my boy Nick Rekieta, follow his locals, and subscribe to my locals. All right, I'm posting my racing footage on there, and I'll be live on locals probably this weekend every day during my race thing, because I don't really have a way to go live anywhere else other than in YouTube, and I don't want to just get on my phone.
Wait, are you racing this weekend?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're not going to be on Friday?
Probably. I might be able to be on in my hotel room, though.
I shoot you in the penis.
Well, I'll be in Charlotte by like 9 p.m. So if once I get to my hotel, I can just hop on my laptop.
Oh, hell yeah.
So yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Get the hell on it. We're going to raid Chrissy Mayer. Peace.